And now, coming live from MainEventMadness.com and presented by Spreaker, it's Main Event Madness SummerSlam pregame show. Your wrestling, our podcast, simply madness. And with that, here are your hosts for today's show, John Curry and Mike Rooker.
Take me down into your paradise. Don't be scared, 'cause I'm your body type. Just something that we wanna try. 'Cause you and I, we're cool for the summer. Take me down into your paradise. Don't be scared, 'cause I'm your body type.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Main Event Madness SummerSlam pregame show here live on MainEventMadness.com, Spreaker.com/MainEventMadness, and of course, if you've got the Spreaker mobile app, download it on your Android or iPhone devices, Apple device, whatever, and download the app. You guys can listen live. Guys, it's an awesome weekend, and I got a loaded panel with us from a bunch of different locales, so it's going to be an awesome, awesome show. Hopefully everybody's having a great weekend. And if you guys heard that a little bit in the intro, we're switching things up a little bit. We got a new slogan. It's your wrestling, our podcast, simply madness. That's right, guys. We're ditching the sports. We're going back to our roots. We're going back to our base. We're going back to what we know best. This was Mr. Al Merriman's decision.
No.
Oh, okay, it was a mutual decision. It was a mutual decision.
I'm not going to take credit for that.
All right, it was Wayne's decision like a year ago.
And a lot of people put it, but everyone.
But
we're back to wrestling.
We're back to wrestling. It's where we feel is our strong suit. And actually, for giving us the idea to do it now, I got to give kudos over to Aaron, who we're going to introduce. I'm going to introduce Aaron and the rest of our panelists momentarily. Guys, if you follow me on Twitter, at John MEM Radio, or follow Al, at AlMeMadness. Sorry, Al, I took your thunder. Or if you're a fan of us on Facebook, facebook.com/MainEventMadness, you guys will have seen posts that we have a pretty big announcement, or a major announcement as I was billing it. And without further ado, I'm going to throw it over to our major announcement, our surprise. Mike's in studio with me from Working Progress. He doesn't even know what's going on right now.
Yeah,
so
I have no freaking clue. Honestly, it makes me more scared than anything.
Oh, you don't even got to be scared. But nonetheless, guys, we're going to throw it to the surprise, and then I'm going to throw it back. We got a quick commercial after that, and then we got panelists, introductions. It's a loaded show here, guys. You guys are not going to want to go anywhere, so don't. All right, guys, this is John of Main Event Madness, and I've been hyping it up for a couple days. We have a major surprise, and here it is. From one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic family in professional wrestling, the Hart family, one of the most legendary names, former member of the Hart Foundation, former member of Stampede Wrestling. We got Bruce Hart going to be coming on Main Event Madness Radio live September 2nd. And here he is.
It's a pleasure to be here, guys. I'm looking forward to joining you guys in September 2nd on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And we're going to cover a lot of bases. Anything you guys want to discuss relevant to the Hart Foundation, or the many wrestlers that came out of Stampede Wrestlers, like the British Bulldogs and Chris Benoit and Dynamite Kid and Brett and Owen and Neidhart and Bad News and Honky Tonk and Jake and Junkyard, or whoever else. I looking forward to an opportunity to just talk with you guys, and it should be a lot of fun. I invite all your wrestling fans to join us, and if anyone's got phone-in questions or whatever, I'd be happy to oblige. A lot of ground we can cover, and it should be fun.
Absolutely. Like we said, guys, Wednesday, September 2nd, Bruce Hart will be joining Main Event Madness Radio for one incredible interview. If you guys have questions, send them to John at Main Event Madness. Also, our phone line for the show is 305-600-4708. Guys, looking forward to it. We'll be back in just a moment. Life is about working. Life is about progress. Why not put them together? Well, we did. Working Progress is coming to Main Event Madness later this summer. Join Matt Brees and Mike Rooker as they give you their unique insights on everything in pro wrestling and sports. Working Progress coming to maineventmadness.com later this summer. For more information, visit facebook.com/maineventmadness. Life is about working. Life is about progress. Why not put them together? Well, we did. Working Progress is coming to Main Event Madness later this summer. Join Matt Brees and Mike Rooker as they give you their unique insights on everything in pro wrestling and sports. Working Progress coming to maineventmadness.com later this summer. For more information, visit facebook.com/maineventmadness. Alright guys, we're back here on Main Event Madness SummerSlam pregame show. Sorry about that, little technical issues, A, as we say every week, it wouldn't be Main Event Madness if there weren't any, and B, Windows 10 is a very evil operating system.
It's brand new, you gotta expect it to have some bugs.
Yeah. And with me, guys, I said at the top of the show, we have a jam-packed panel. With me, in person, is Mike Rooker, co-host, or one of the hosts. They haven't decided who's host and who's co-host, or if they're even going to do that.
That's the boss, so that's how we're running it.
Of Working Progress, Mike Rooker. As you guys also heard him at the top of the broadcast, Al Merriman, my partner in crime, as he calls me, is with me. And I got Triple M, Mike Martinez. He's one of our new reporters. He's with us. Joe Israel, he helps out Danny on WrestlingDVDNetwork.com. And we have history. For the first time in 6 months, there's a wrestling rope break and Main Event Madness reunion. Aaron Ramadanov is with me also. Guys, all of you, thank you for coming on. And Al, thanks for taking time away. I know it's crazy trying to get stuff together for your daughter to get back to school. So appreciate you taking a little bit of time out, man. And first up, and Triple M, just want to say welcome to the Main Event Madness family. We're excited to have you on board, man, and looking forward to a lot of great success with you on board, man.
Hey, well, it's a pleasure and honor, and I thank you guys for the invite.
And Joe, this is the first time, not first time, but a long time we haven't talked, man. It's been, about a year. Yeah, it's been about a year since you've been on the show.
Yeah, it's been a while. I wanted to come on because this has been a really great weekend. It's been a really great year for wrestling in general, and I think this is going to started off really great last night. I think it's going to continue to be great tonight. So I wanted to come on to chat about it a little bit. It's been a fun past few months for wrestling world.
Absolutely, and of course, Aaron, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming on.
No problem, man. It's been way too long. We should have done this a little bit sooner.
We should have, for sure. And conspicuous by his absence, if you went by our promotions, is Mr. Joel the Man O'Brien. But it's like 5 in the morning, like 5, 6, 7 in the morning, something like that, down in Australia. So, I would have been very impressed if he was able to get on here. But who knows? We're on the air for the next 50, 60, 70 minutes, maybe, maybe an hour and a half. I don't know. Beyond... till sometime between 5:30 and 6, probably. Get everybody situated and settled in for SummerSlam tonight. And, you guys touched on it. It's an awesome, awesome weekend. And it was capped off really before NXT last night for us. You guys heard on the, before the commercial break. That's right, guys, on, September 2nd. I think that's what the commercial said. September 2nd, Bruce Hart, member of the famed Hart Wrestling family, is coming on for a tell-all shoot interview. Which, if you're a wrestling fan and love interviews, those are magical words. And hats off to Al for getting this lined up, because he surprised the hell out of me with all of this.
Yeah, I mean, we're real excited about having Bruce on, and I want everybody that's listening now to stay tuned because we're going to have his thoughts on tonight's SummerSlam, so that's going to be great. And he also is going to give you, one of his more memorable moments of SummerSlam. So, pretty cool guy. Chopped it up with him a few minutes over the weekend, and looking forward to him having him on September 2nd. So, guys, enjoy the show. I am going to be logging off here, but excited, and thank you all for doing the panel. I appreciate it, and have some fun with John. All right, guys? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, guys.
Thanks, man, for coming on. Appreciate it, Al.
Yep. Thanks, man. Thanks for the time.
Definitely, man. Kick ass, guys. Kick ass.
Always will. Take it easy, man. We'll talk. Yeah, guys, we got a little bit of a clip from Bruce, couple-minute clip coming up later in the show. Before we head off, we're going to talk about what we're looking forward to the most. We got Bruce's thoughts on that as well. And, it's kind of funny because, since I started doing the show with Al, I haven't really been, starstruck with a lot of these interviews. And that's funny considering we've had Bruno on. Even though Al did most of these interviews, a lot of the guys, that are current wrestlers I've interviewed in the last year and a half. And I'm talking to Bruce, and I don't know if it's because of the respect and the fandom that I have for the Hearts, and I'm just talking to him, and I was just like,
You were literally dumbfounded.
Yeah, pretty much. I kept stumbling over my words, and I know, I don't know, but excited to have him, and tell-all-shoot interviews, like I said, are magical words. So we have no idea what he's going to say, but we will have that for you live on Main Event Madness, September 2nd at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Put that on your calendars. Get it in your BlackBerries. Do people still have BlackBerries?
Who knows?
Aaron, do people still have BlackBerries?
I don't think so.
Put it on your drawer.
I still have a Razor from 2007.
My grandmother has one of them. You remember, the three of us are within a few years. I don't know how old Triple M and Joe are. Joe, I think you're near my age too.
Yeah, I think so, probably.
I'm 31. I got no beef about my age.
Okay, so you're a little bit.
He's got a little wisdom.
But you guys remember, you said 07. You guys remember when the Razors were the phone to have, and now you look at them and it's you look at them like should be in the Smithsonian. Mm-hmm. They feel so old.
Yeah.
Was it the first phone that played music and all that jazz too? That's why everybody wanted it.
What's that?
I think the Razor was the first one to play all the music and have your custom ringtone.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to be the thing of the future. Now you got the iPhone and the Android.
Another question I have is, does anyone actually use a flip phone anymore?
Gibbs does on NCIS.
Well, let's face it, it's Gibbs.
But also, guys, if you want to chime in with some of your thoughts and give your predictions or anything for SummerSlam, call into the show. 305-600-4708. That's 305-600-4708. And as prepared as I am, coming straight from work, so I don't have the SummerSlam card in front of me, so we can talk about it.
Let's put it this way, it's pretty much as Teddy Long's wet dream. Tag team matches.
It really is.
Tag team matches freaking everywhere.
It really is.
There's 3 singles matches: Cesaro versus Owens, Brock versus Taker, and then Cena versus Rollins. Those are the only non-tag matches. Everything else is a tag match.
And I talked about it with we call him our producer, Wayne Daly, who's kicking ass with Celtic Championship Wrestling over in Ireland right now. But for all the talk that there is about how weak WWE's roster is, with lack of talent and there's really no depth there, they could easily have a 15-16 match card tonight at SummerSlam. If you broke up all the tag matches and everything, you could easily have a 15-16 match card. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it'd still be quality matches.
There's also the Ziggler match and Orton Sheamus. So, there's a balance there. There's about 10 matches on the card tonight.
And the impressive thing is there's 10 matches, and there's 10 matches that all have a storyline to them.
Which is something that WWE hasn't done in a long time.
Even WrestleManias, the past 2 WrestleManias have both been great, 30 and 31. But even those, there's always 1 or 2 matches that seem totally random. This match, even the tag title match, it's not a very complicated storyline, but there's still something to it. Right. And every other match has been built up for, 2 months. So I think that's what has me most excited about this show.
You know what excites me about this show is the fact there's a lot of young talent on this show. There's maybe 5 or 6 guys that you could say have been there for 10 plus years, but the rest are all fairly young. I mean, Ziggler, Rusev, Neville, Dean Ambrose, Reigns, Bray Wyatt. These are all young faces, and it's good to see WWE beginning to develop a younger talent for the next wave.
Is that match on the card, Rusev versus Ziggler tonight?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if that was added last minute because I know Ziggler got hurt, whatever. But the only match I see as a problem tonight, honestly, is the Divas match because after I saw the NXT.
I hate that that's a single elimination.
Yeah.
It should be all 9 divas or 8 divas need to be eliminated in order to
Well,
win.
it protects all of the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
Who's
giving my
one?
prediction here, Charlotte's probably going to win because I think she's being set up for the Divas title. Now you can have Team Bad lose without Sasha Banks getting pinned, which I think does help.
I mean, as far as Team Bad's elimination, you know it's going to be Tamina.
You would think so, yes.
I mean, but if we're talking green, I mean, the only one who's really green in this match is Naomi.
Yeah.
She's the only one who's
I wouldn't
pretty
say
good.
green.
She's
I would say
okay.
more inexperienced. I would say less. What do I want? What's the word I'm looking for?
less polished.
Yeah, less polished. Because everyone else is put. Well, actually, I know the Bellas are polished as much as I want to rant on the Bellas. They have been getting better, but honestly, I'd rather see Banks take the victory even after losing to Bayley last night, because she did beat cleanly Nikki Bella, the Divas champion, on Monday Night Raw. I would rather see her, after losing her NXT title, take the Divas title.
Well, that was one thing I was going to touch on, was Sasha beat Nikki Bella, or was it Brie Bella?
It was Nikki. It was the champion versus champion,
I
and Sasha
think
went.
Charlotte beat her 2 weeks ago on Raw.
So could that?
No, she beat Brie.
Could we be
She
set up
beat
for a
Brie,
Sasha
okay.
Charlotte #1 contender match?
I'm not gonna. I'll watch that
No.
match because that was
No.
their matches in
No.
TNT were great.
Here's the thing with the Divas, though. Down in NXT, they give the girls plenty of time to shine. They give them the same amount of time as the guys. On Raw, the Divas segments aren't that long. Either way it goes, whether Charlotte gets the title, whether Sasha gets the title. How featured is the Divas title with a lot of time on Raw? There's not a lot.
They've gotten a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they at least get 2 segments a night now. Right about now,
Even
so
3 if you count the Summer Rae and Lana storyline. I mean, that's kind of a half diva, half superstar feud.
Yeah,
But I mean, even that,
that's too subtle.
And that match tonight will go 15 minutes probably.
They'll give
It'll
them
be given
time,
some
but
time.
I'm not expecting anything out of it after watching that title match last night. But I'm
Oh, yeah.
expecting good things, just not great things from the.
well, that's
Divas.
one thing. I mean, we could at least get excited for is, and WWE, since NXT started doing these live events,
Oh, absolutely.
they've been known to. The main roster has been known to step their game up. When they see the NXT roster set the bar a certain level, WWE's main roster, for the most part, I mean, look at Fastlane was a great card. WrestleMania was a great card. Well, there was one that blew everybody away. Was it last year? I can't remember off the top of my head or which pay-per-view
I think it was
Was it TLC? Because that was the one right after the one where Owens debuted.
Yeah, that was,
It was
yeah,
TLC.
That was after Rivals. No. Revolution.
Oh.
No, but
And-
I'm not going to lie. The problem is now they're immediately following that. There's no week or 2 after that. It's literally the night after. And if you saw
This is
that...
the first one. Isn't this the first one that was the night after an NXT?
Yeah, because this is the first time NXT's been live on a Saturday. It's always been a Wednesday. But literally, they're following the pay-per-view right after in New York. And that crowd, you heard them, absolutely loved the F out of...
You can swear.
hey, I'm trying to be family-friendly. You know me. I got a sailor mouth, so I'm trying to be nice. But
We're not PG here.
Yeah.
Ask Aaron. We're not PG here.
No. Why would we?
but
Well, Aaron's about as PG as we get. I mean, he's...
Yeah. I try to refrain from language.
Yeah, when we want to contain ourselves, we just have Aaron talk
Yeah.
for most of the show.
but no, they're immediately following that hot, freaking blazing hot card they had going at NXT. There wasn't a bad match on that card.
I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if they don't have Ziggler kick off the show to get the show off to a hot start.
Honestly, because
I mean, I know the tag match is on the pre-show, and we'll get to our predictions here momentarily, guys.
why would they put that in the pre-show?
What else would you put on the pre-show? And everybody else is in a match.
Yeah.
I mean, Kane and Mark Henry are like the only guys who are in a match that are on the roster.
Honestly,
Well, here's a. Oh, you know what? I'll talk about this after.
I want to bring something up before we move off from the Divas for a little bit. First off, I think that match, the Divas match last night, was the match of the year.
Oh,
and
God,
that's a
I've
match of
watched
the year
some,
contender,
New
absolutely.
Japan. That includes New Japan stuff. I think it was the match of the year. And I think if 2015 were to end today, I think Sasha Banks is Wrestler of the Year. I was curious if you guys thought that was an insane statement.
Whoa,
You can still put Nikki Bella.
She's a damn good wrestler.
No,
But wrestler of the year, I mean, Charlotte's done a lot of good stuff. Paige has come a long way last year.
Wrestler, man or woman, I should know.
Is there something
Okay.
overall superstar
Yes.
of the year?
Overall competitor of the year, basically, is what he's saying, not
Yeah.
distinguishing by gender.
Because,
and then by
I mean,
Diva of the
I
year,
think,
you could still...
for me at least, in terms of WWE, the match last night I think is match of the year. The
Hands
match
down.
against Becky
Oh,
Lynch from the
oh.
previous NXT TakeOver show is probably my number 2. And the match against Charlotte from the NXT San Jose show that I was lucky enough to go to is also probably my top
You were
5.
there? I didn't know you were
I
there.
really feel like she's had the best year of anyone. I mean, Cena's had an amazing year. Owens has had an amazing year. But I would pick Sasha Banks.
Owens is definitely the breakout superstar of the year, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The fact-
definitely big superstar.
The fact that it's SummerSlam Sunday... Try saying that 5 times fast.
SummerSlam.
I didn't... Not literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, there you go. So shut up. The fact that we're almost 9 months into the year, and we're talking about Cena having great matches this year. I mean, who'd have thought a 39-year-old John Cena would go on to have the renaissance, so to speak? Where we're putting him in the upper echelon of a guy like Kevin Owens, a guy like Finn Balor, and even if you want to put him, even though he hasn't had any really great matches in a while, Randy Orton. But I mean, these guys that were in this upper echelon of the top ring performers, and then all of a sudden there's John Cena up there this year. Well,
Honestly,
unless you're Mike and Matt, shut up.
Look who John Cena's main event is.
I'm starting to return to my neutral status because Cena's been having great matches, whether it's him or his partner, I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. I'm just going to still stick to my guns and say Cena is giving guys to show off, but not doing anything for them.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think he likes wrestling these younger guys. I think that's a lot to do with it. It's like if you look at his big feuds this year, have been with like Rusev and Owens. I think he likes wrestling the younger guys.
Well, it's something different for him. It's not Cena Orton 956,
Hey, that's 9,862.3.
I think the same thing has helped Orton. Orton's gotten to wrestle different people, and he's had a really good year too.
And now he's back to the same old Orton.
Well, I mean, how much of that can you really blame on him? And plus, it's been how many years since he feuded with Sheamus? I mean, it's been, 5 years since he feuded with Sheamus?
But is anything really changed?
No,
I think the problem is Sheamus and not Orton.
It is.
I'm a Sheamus supporter.
Mm-hmm. And it's just...
The thing is, Sheamus has got the look. She's got the physicality. He's somewhat charismatic, but it seems like he gets lost. He gets like
I'm with you on there.
There's no hard connection with the crowd that whether he's a heel or a face, he gets kind of a reaction, but not the right reaction.
The problem is he's good at both being a face and being a heel, but he's not great at either one. He's pretty much like as a Big Show. He's a jack of all trades. He can do almost anything, but at the same time, nothing sticks to him. He's not glue, and that's what you need with him. Even though he's pasty white as like a glue bottle. But
I knew where you were going with that.
Okay,
the moment you looked at me,
$1 million question here. You're not saying he's going to do it tonight, but since Sheamus has the Money in the Bank contract, is he one of the guys that cashes in successfully, or is he one of the guys that blows it?
I think he blows it. Like
I agree with John.
I was going to say this. It depends on who wins that match.
No, I still think he blows it because they put all their emphasis and all their energy with Sheamus into turning him. Whether it's turning him babyface 4 years ago, whatever the hell it was, or turning him heel like they did after WrestleMania, which, Joe, were you there? Because that was an awesome show, by the way.
WrestleMania this year? Yeah, absolutely.
What a way to lose your WrestleMania.
But here's the thing with Sheamus in the contract, in my opinion. we all know wrestling is, partly what you perform in the ring and partly whose back you scratch in the back. And Sheamus has always been known as one of H's golden boys. So that's the X factor there.
Well,
there's one title now. They don't change the title very often, and I think that's why I don't see him winning. I think they realize that he's just not really connecting.
Right.
And to what I was saying, like when they turn him, they put all their energy in it, and then he does nothing. He does nothing, and they don't really put any effort into doing anything with him. Like
I've thought that he started off pretty hot when he was feuding with Ziggler, and I think a lot of it has to do with, and this kind of goes back to the whole thing. I was going to actually write an article about it on ProWrestlingPowerhouse.com with the dying, almost role of a bad guy, where he started off really hot and doing these heelish things. I think it goes back to WWE's whole thing of really treating heels like heels. He doesn't do anything heel-like anymore. When he first started with Ziggler, he was cheating. He was doing certain things that would make you hate him. He did that whole thing where, you remember that angle that he had with Ziggler where it was a, kiss my arse match, and he ended up, making Ziggler kiss his ass even though Ziggler won. I think those are the things that makes Sheamus really good, and I really was connecting with Sheamus as a heel at that point. But since then, he's just kind of like every other quote-unquote heel on the roster where he doesn't really do anything to differentiate himself as a heel and is kind of just blending into the background.
And I think with Sheamus, he's got the problem Cena does to an extent, where when they want Cena to be babyface, or like mega babyface, they got to put him with the right heels, so that way he does get cheered. But with Sheamus, especially now being a heel, the only problem they got to put him with the right baby faces to work with, so people even care. Because he's working with Orton, nobody cares. He's working with Ziggler, and he's beating the shit out of Ziggler. People want to kill him, literally. You probably see people on Twitter probably putting death threats to him.
At this point, there's only one person they can put with Sheamus, and he would have to come back healthy, and it would have to be a spectacular match, which at this point I think he could do, and that would be Daniel Bryan.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
That's the only person you could put with Sheamus at this point. Make him the super heel, and Daniel comes in as a super babyface, and they can go 3 or 4 pay-per-views and sell out the show because Daniel has the ability to make it a different match every time.
Well,
I think that was the plan for
Daniel
this summer.
comes back. Why wouldn't you put him? Let me give you a scenario real quick for Daniel Bryan. Let's say Seth Rollins beats Cena tonight, but he cheats or something, right? And then next pay-per-view, this time, Seth wins again. Still cheats, and again, Seth keeps cheating. Wouldn't you, if Daniel Bryan comes back, wouldn't you put him against Seth Rollins to finally... Because at this point, Seth is just cheating to keep that title.
At this point,
he's done
for sure.
one clean win.
I think I was just saying more like if Bryan hadn't gotten hurt and he was still IC.
Oh, yeah, if Bryan hadn't gotten hurt, they would have kept going with him.
I think that his big summer feud would have been with Sheamus.
Now, let me ask you guys. The way Wade Barrett's, the king of the ring and all this, he's not really doing anything.
He's another one that has the same problem as Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Wade Barrett.
Yep.
I love Wade Barrett. The whole, I've got bad news for you. That's a great gimmick. That's the best way to break any bad news to anybody on TV.
Oh, absolutely.
And get over as a heel. But when he gets in the ring, he either gets derailed by getting hurt, or he gets put in some stupid storyline.
Yep.
Like,
this one's not that bad. He's kind of the victim of circumstance with this one. He's stuck in a BS storyline right now.
Truth is pretty good.
Huh?
He's practically a supervillain this time. He's the king of evil, essentially.
I think we benefited from that a little bit because
he's in the highest profile match on the card, from a mainstream perspective.
That and the original reports were that it was supposed to be The Miz in this match with Stardust.
Thank God that didn't happen.
So, I think from a booking perspective, from a fan's perspective, we got the benefit from that. But he's hurting from Ryback getting hurt. Because I think we could have got Ryback and Barrett for the IC belt had Ryback not gotten hurt and the Miz Big Show feud would have been over with by now.
Yeah, but then they would have gone to a Big Show Miz feud instead of a...
Well, even Big Show could have gone on to somebody else, or just, went away.
my biggest problem with the IC match is why is the Big Show even contending for the Intercontinental Championship?
So he's sick of not getting a shot, essentially. He's sick, as being the giant he is, he's sick of getting, quote-unquote, looked over.
Let's look at this realistically. He's probably contractually obligated to have some sort of title match. And they don't want to and they don't have the World Heavyweight Championship anymore, so... I mean, what other reason would you see Big Show in a title match in 2015?
For me, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
I think they like the idea of Ryback feuding with the big guys. I mean, they did it with Mark Henry at WrestleMania a couple of years ago.
Yeah, maybe to try to...
I think that was the idea of Ryback beating the guy who's bigger than him, so then he can be the underdog good guy. Now, I wish the feud hadn't gone on 3 months. I think it's a good 1 month feud for the Intercontinental title.
I'll give you 2 months, depending on if you throw a stipulation or two in there.
Yeah,
I'll give
sure.
you 2 weeks when they had the 2 pay-per-views a month.
And the truth is, if they wanted to make it look like Ryback being the smaller guy, the underdog, the Big Show, why not just have Big Show plowing through him every single week and making him look weak? That way he gets the underdog victory of retaining his title. To me personally, I don't see why it had to be a 3-man band.
I mean, I think Ryback and Miz is a better feud than Ryback, Big Show, and Miz.
That's
Right?
Miz can carry. I hate the, as much as I hate the Miz in the ring. His mic work is he'll make you hate him without even speaking a freaking word.
Right. The Miz is one of those guys that can say 2 words and the whole crowd is just on fire because they gotta
All he's got to
get
do
him
is wear like that hooded, whatever the hell he was wearing, like that
Obi-
robe
What
thing.
did they all call it? That transgender Jedi robe?
Yeah, like, that's all. He doesn't even have to say anything. Just come out in that, and he's going to get booed. But really quick before we move on, guys, I just want to, going back to Sheamus, do you think once this whole 3 Diva team storyline's done, what do you guys think of the idea of possibly turning Becky Lynch heel and putting her with Sheamus?
No.
That'd be perfect.
I wouldn't mind it because it
See,
would
we
start
can
to have
both
the
be-
divas start to separate a bit, and that would start getting their feuds going for singles, and that would be better.
You could have an Irish Edge and Lita.
You just ruined the entire Edge and Lita run with that saying, so I should
I
smack
mean,
you.
they both are
Summer
not the
Rae,
redhead.
Summer
They
Rae.
can work.
Huh?
And if you know what? I think if you're talking about pairing people up, if you were to put Sheamus, Barrett, Becky Lynch, and bring back William Regal as their manager, you
Yes.
could have something.
Yes, absolutely. And you're only missing one person from that, and I think you know who I'm talking about. Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
That's the only person
Why
you're
is he
missing
in
from that.
TNA? Don't even get. Oh my God. That was. I don't know. I understand what happened with him, but him and anybody goes to TNA, it's the lightest schedule. There's not much of a house.
Yeah.
It's like hell.
Well, we could look at the bright side with TNA. Jeff Hardy will be in WWE next year, because TNA will probably be out of
Right?
business. But
Jeff Hardy will be back in WWE next year.
hopefully. But let's move on here, guys, to the meat and potatoes of this here little broadcast, this Main Event Madness pregame show, guys. And by the way, we are live on maineventmadness.com. And if you guys want to call on the show, which let's be honest, everybody's watching the pre-show right now, so probably nobody's listening to us anyway. But if you do, it's 305-600-4708. That's 305-600-4708. And speaking of the pre-show, guys, let's just dive into this. We got a Fatal 4-Way WWE Tag Team title match, which, by the way, the idea of a Fatal 4-Way tag match without having 4 people in the ring is just asinine. It's not even an elimination.
At this point, it should be a tornado match.
It really should, or something. Like, just the way they do these, and even the triple threats. The triple threat ones make no sense. It's now you're only one-on-one, and you got all 3, you got one whole team on the outside.
Let me make sure about this. So any person can tag anyone in, essentially. Yeah. Okay, just want to make sure that...
Aaron, I'm right on that, right?
I didn't hear what you said.
The Fatal 4-Way tag match. It's basically a one-on-one match with 2 whole teams on the outside and each guy having their partner on the outside.
Yeah, it seems like WWE likes to do this because they just want to kind of get as many teams on the card as they can, which makes sense, but in the grand scheme, this match has kind of been the same thing. I mean, we had the same thing happen at WrestleMania with Fatal 4-Way. So,
if you want the boring answer for why they only have one team in at a time, it's so that the audience knows what to focus on. And if you had all 4 teams active at the same time, you'd have 2 one-on-one matches going on, and you don't know which one to look at. Because I've seen a few old WCW pay-per-views used to do this, and it was impossible to follow the match because you had no idea
All right, that
where
makes
you were
sense.
supposed to look.
WCW tried it and failed at it, so WWE's like, we'll be smart about this.
And we'll try to fail it, just like putting Raw 3 hours. But who you guys got? Do you guys got the primetime players retaining, or do you got the New Day, or the Matadors or the Lucha Dragons?
Personally, me, I want to see the Dragons take it. That's just me. New Day sucks.
Because the New Day is such heels. If I was a betting man, and like assuming the title change, I'd put it on the New Day because they're gonna get so much more heat. They can have the other tag teams, which are basically face tag teams, chase them. And let's face it, it's always gonna end up in this subtle 4-way or 3-way tag team matches for it to be determined.
I think a trend we have to follow here is I'm treating SummerSlam as WrestleMania because they're really building it up as such, a 4-hour show, all that stuff. And even the main event of this show is the tagline is the rematch too big for WrestleMania. So I'm treating this as a WrestleMania. And on a WrestleMania card, a fatal 4-way tag team match on the pre-show. I have to believe that the tag champs retain, the baby faces go over. And I hate this whole notion that can we stop pretending like the primetime players are tag team champions for any other reason besides Titus O'Neil being dad of the year or whatever for publicity reasons? And I just feel like that's the only reason they won those titles. I thought the New Day were having such a great reign with those titles. I think they're such a much better tag team. The chemistry is there. They're so much better in the ring. I think we have to. Everyone has to stop pretending like Titus O'Neil and Darren Young are any good in the ring.
I think it's
just on a side note. Is it me? Or is Xavier Woods the best cheater in that group?
Oh, he's great. I'm not gonna lie. He's the one that makes me hate the New Day the most because he's just that whiny
so animated
prick. You just want to be like, no, shut up and let me punch you.
You know, Joe, and you were at these shows as I was. New Day was loved, not by the crowd during the show. But, Joe, I don't know if you heard any of the chants or anything.
There were a lot of New Day chants.
New Day! New Day!
Oh, you're talking the old one.
And anywhere you went, Joe, it was there.
No, you're right. That's why I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win the titles back. They never should have lost them. I don't.
And you know what? I like the fact that Xavier Woods will be out there like, no, Freebird rules. Freebird rules. He'll get the third man into the defendant. Like, there's so many things they can do with it because
and that's
it's
something,
one of those weird times that 3 guys hold the tag titles.
And that's something they haven't done in almost 10 years since the
Spear Squad.
That one, yeah.
Oh God.
Kenny, Johnny, Nikki,
Right?
Rich, Mikey.
And we are the Spirit Squad.
God,
And they got buried
only
by
be away
Black
from
so
the memory.
I saw the Spirit Squad at a show last year. It was interesting.
That's right. They reunited on the indie circuit.
Yeah, they did for one weekend.
That didn't include Ziggler, though.
Ziggler, there were chants for Nikki. There were a lot of "We Want Nikki" chants, but he was not there.
They should have got Bradley Pierce. Nick's, Dolph Ziggler's brother. That's who they should have
That would
gotten.
have been hysterical, I'm not going to lie.
Alright, so everybody except Mike Rooker is agreeing that New Day wins.
Let me say this. If New Day wins, I won't be opposed to him, depending on who chases after the titles next.
I would think it would be the Lucha Dragons. I'm hoping that team breaks up soon, because I think it's a dead-end road for Kalisto.
Kalisto's going to be huge. He got such an amazing pop in San Jose. Was he at the NXT show?
San Jose.
Were they at the NXT show?
I think he wrestled Solomon Crow, if I remember. Which was because those two guys wrestled on the indies together for years.
I don't know. I think Kalisto does better as a tag right now for a little bit. Until they bring back... What are you going to do with him once he's in a singles match?
You could have...
Who do you pair Kalisto with that can work that kind of a style and keep the crowd entertained?
That's fair. They do also, I was going to say, they also have Neville's very similar, so it would be a problem.
Well, they could do a tag team in Kalisto and Neville.
Yeah.
Neville's not really doing much. What does Neville got going for him after this feud? He's going to
He's
keep
the
feuding
red
with
arrow
Aaron.
to the green arrow.
Listen, that line was so scripted.
Oh, it was so great though. You know, you laughed and marked a little bit.
I felt
today.
bad for Roy Hart.
That was like, oh, great. So they're going to harken something back to the comic book to make the connection. That's wonderful.
I'm not gonna lie. If Neville comes out with red tonight, I will laugh.
I'm going to laugh if he comes out with a little mask.
If he's got freaking Roy Harper's outfit coming out there.
Right? That would be
I'm not
hilarious.
gonna, if I see him in that comic book Speedy outfit with that stupid Robin Hood get up, I will. I'm not gonna lie. I will download the Instagram app, Instagram it, and just be like, "You win, WWE."
You know what? This is completely off topic, but only because the Miz is on the show, I'm bringing this up. I want to start a campaign to save Damian Sandow. He's a great wrestler, and when he was the Miz, was stunt double. Everything he did was hilarious. And then
I miss having some Damian Sandow on TV.
I would love to see that as a pre-show right there. Miz has the Miz TV interview Stephen Amell, and Miz does what he does best, tries to push his product onto Amell. Amel's like, no, I already got a guy, and then Damian Sandow, not Macho Mandow, Sandow comes.
Well,
out.
isn't he back to being? Is he still Macho Mandow, or is he back to being
No.
Damian Sandow?
That whole thing died with the whole Hulk Hogan controversy because
I thought they started it back up again.
WrestleMania.
because he teamed up with Curtis Axel for Axelmania.
And he started doing the Axelmania stuff again.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No.
He's done the Royal Rumble stuff, but that's not Axelmania.
Aaron,
I don't think he started up. I remember seeing a picture of Axel and Sandow at a live event, and Axel was just wearing like jean shorts.
yeah, was he trying to be John Cena?
I don't know what he was doing.
That lying Irish bastard. Wayne, I'm calling you out, you son of a bitch. All right.
Next match. I think we got everything up we did for the tag.
Can we talk about the Rusev Ziggler match?
Yeah, why not?
I think that's an interesting match.
Because you have no idea where that's going to go, honestly. You really don't.
You don't, because look, they've been building Rusev to smash Mark Henry.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lana doesn't turn on Ziggler and they start building up Rusev kind of like a more monstrous Godfather, where he has like a catalog of hoes.
I'm not going to lie. I would like to see. That'd be hysterical to see, but it'd be horrible.
He has like a stable of women with him. Stranger things have happened, and it is.
What is he usually called? The Bulgarian Brute?
The Bulgarian Brute.
What do you call him next?
The Bulgarian. Oh, who, him?
Yeah, what would you call Rusev? Not
the Bulgarian Playboy?
Just the Bulgarian Playboy?
Not. Shit.
I swear to God, if I called that.
He's like the Godfather, but Russian?
Yeah, pretty much. He's like a Russian mob boss.
But here's the thing about
That's
Rusev.
so awesome.
This is the thing I don't think they give him enough credit for. The kid was rather polished when he came into the company. And that's because of his training and where he was trained. He was trained by Gangrel, the Black Pearl, and Rikishi. So, I mean, you look how he moves as a big man. He keeps you captivated. There's a reason people keep interest in Rusev, because they want to see who's going to beat him.
I think this is match one of a multi-match series. I think this feud goes into the fall. I really do, because I think the end game here is a mixed tag match with Summer and Lana.
I was going to say, the key factor of this entire feud is Lana. So
whether or not they turn her back or whether or not they turn Summer back, one of them is turning on one of them.
Yeah.
Someone's got to turn in these, if this is a series of matches.
The only other thing I could see is that, they have their blow-off match and Ziggler turns on Lana. Because there were a lot of talks that Ziggler was going to go back heel. I'm not talking now, he could be around Survivor Series, but...
I think at this point, Ziggler's kind of over enough where he's a babyface.
Yeah, I don't think they can turn him. The fans are going to cheer him if he turns.
No,
Exactly.
You could turn anybody anytime the right way. If Ziggler turns on Lana...
That's the key right there.
Yeah, he's got to turn on Lana.
It's perfect. Anytime a man pushes a woman or does something that when she falls off the apron, it'll be perfect. There'll be a heel all over again.
I think this feud has really kind of proven that Rusev is more than just a Bulgarian guy who comes out with a flag. A lot of people have kind of. I think this was his first real true test to have a feud that has nothing to do with America or USA or a nation's battling. And I think this has kind of proven that he can do something else. And I think his mannerisms, the little things that Rusev does, has really popped out to me in this feud. It's just the little subtle things he does in interviews with Summer Rae and all that stuff. I think Rusev has been really impressive, for me at least, on the microphone and all that stuff. So I'm excited to see if Rusev can move on past this. Like I said, I think this feud's going to go on for a couple months. Like I said, I think the end game is Lana and Summer in the ring together with these two by their side. So I'm going to go with Rusev picking up the victory here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one as well.
Cheating. I think he's going to cheat to win.
And that's fine, because I think if Rusev, you want to keep Rusev the heel he is, you need to have him cheat, or even have Summer do it for him. Just make sure he wins in a cheap way, essentially.
Yeah.
Or not cheap, but dirty, we'll say, because cheap Seth Rollins.
Does he use brass knuckles and then slip them out to Summer Rae?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I would say something happens with the women that leads to...
Yeah, the women are going to be the factor.
Lana accidentally hits Ziggler or something.
Yeah.
That or Summer goes after Lana. Ziggler is paying attention to that.
Yeah.
Rusev turnaround kick, accolade.
Yeah, maybe something
That
like
works.
that.
That's completely fine by me.
They'll need to be careful. This feud's already been going on for like 3 months. They just couldn't have a match because Ziggler was gone for such a long time. So they need to be careful about not letting this go too long. Because I think if this goes more than one more month, people will start getting bored. I think there's a risk if it even goes further than this, people will start getting bored soon.
I think if they could spice it up a little bit, add a little bit of longevity to it. I think this would be a great match to keep going to Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
I think it would be.
I
think Rusev
that
and
would be a
Ziggler would have
beautiful
a
end game for
fantastic Hell in a
Ziggler
Cell
with that
match.
Hell in a Cell.
And it would
They
show
got that gimmick pay-per-view coming up, and for once, they have a lot of feuds that could culminate there. Ziggler, Rusev here. You could have the primetime players in the New Day culminate in a Hell in a Cell match. And throw somebody in with the primetime players. I don't care who you decide to throw in there. Have somebody add their team so they can have the Freebird thing too. But that's one thing you got to sit there and think about. They got a lot of good feuds that could go, another 2 months. Cena and Seth.
Oh, Cena and Seth. I just don't like
that's been rumored.
Mm-hmm.
That's been rumored to go on for a while. Yep. There was a rumor going around that's going to go on into the fall.
Again, my question is
that'll
who
be a
wins
Hell in a
tonight?
Cell. No,
because literally, that's the big thing. Because everyone tells me it's going to be Seth, but Cena being Cena, I don't doubt that he's going to go 16 times.
He will, but we'll talk about that one in a few minutes. That's the real meat, part of the meat of this little shindig here. Let's go to one of the matches that a lot of people are looking forward to, and Aaron touched on it. The Cosmic King, Bad News Barrett, and Stardust taking on the team of
Red Arrow and Green Arrow?
The Red Arrow in Neville and the Green Arrow in Oliver Queen, Stephen Amell.
There's no much difference there anymore.
There really isn't.
Celebrity in a match, celebrity wins. As simple as it gets.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna leave on that. But at least Stephen Amell has been training.
I kind of got.
No, I have no problem with it.
Stephen
I think
Amell
Stephen
going
Amell
a
is one of
If
the
I
very
could get
few
this a little bit
celebrities that
thicker.
they've used very well. Like Jon Stewart being the host of this show.
I forgot all about that.
I'm not gonna lie. To me, the hosts don't do a damn thing anyway. There's no.
No,
point in having a
but I
host.
like that Jon Stewart's in that very small group of guys that come in and they actually do a good job and they actually care about what they're doing. I think Stephen Amell is in that same camp. So I'm excited to see Stephen Amell in his attire and all that stuff. And
I'm curious what his finisher is going to be.
Yeah, me too.
But I would assume he'll do something into the Red Arrow. Neville will probably
Maybe
get
that
the pin.
spear into the Red Arrow, like Edge talked about on Twitter.
That's probably what it'll be. So I think Neville will get the pin. Probably. Well,
It was fun
could
to
be on either of them. They could continue the Neville Stardust feud further. That doesn't necessarily have to end. But yeah, the celebrity team is certainly going to plan.
Me and my co-host Matt for Working Madness were discussing this. Yeah, there's my cheap plug.
Work in progress?
Yeah.
You said working madness.
I said working progress.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said whatever. Working progress. But either way, we're talking about that. It's like the greatest gimmick they could use is the boxing glove on the end of the arrow, where Stephen Amell just shoots the arrow with the boxing glove in the Stardust's face.
But that'd be a disqualification.
You can do it after the match. Stardust tries to do something cheap. Like he's attacking,
That's when
Neville.
you have Neville come out.
How about this one? They have Steve Lamel, like, somehow set up Neville for the red arrow. So Steve Lamel shot the red arrow.
Here's the thing. As physically fit as Stephen Amell is, you think he could do a red arrow?
That'd be
Hell
great to
no.
see.
Or he does like a swanton or something? He
He
could
better get
probably
ready
do
and stand there
something
to be
like
a
that.
stunt double.
I mean,
We also have to keep in mind that that Amel's hurt for this match as well.
oh, that's right. His mouth or his.
So I
He
think
broke
the
his tongue.
physicality is going to be at a very low, at a minimum for him.
I don't think it's that big of a deal, though. I mean, yeah, he's injured, but it's nothing that's going to truly hinder his ability to a major extent.
You got to remember though, he's not a pro wrestler who's trained
Inactive.
to deal with these injuries.
Oh,
He's going to be in the ring for 3 minutes total.
And that 3 minutes is going to be punch, punch, kick, go to the corner, punch, 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 kick, stomp a mud hole, Irish whip, spear, tag, red arrow.
I'm not going to lie. If we do see some technicality out of him, even more impressive.
He really hasn't been training that much. It's more been dealing with the turnbuckles than anything else.
So what match is next?
Ryback, Miz, and the Big Slow for the Intercontinental title.
Ryback wins hands down. He's
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anyone else winning besides Ryback, and I think Big Show takes a little bit of time off after this. He talked about it in the media for a little while, where he even admitted that his character has kind of become just a joke, and I think he even said he wanted to work more of a part-time schedule. So I think we see the Big Show go away, and I think we see Miz and Ryback feud into the fall.
That's fine because at least that will keep you on. At least that will keep everyone entertained. It's like Ryback, just shut the Miz up. Because no one likes to hear the Miz talk.
Does this turn Big Show babyface? Because he's kind of been a tweener in this feud.
He's technically been the heel, but Miz is just such a loudmouth.
He's been more of an anti-hero in this feud.
I think what Joseph said was pretty easy, or I don't know who said it, but that I think this Big Show's role in this match is simply to have Ryback give him a shell shock and make him look good against another big guy. And
I hope he doesn't screw up like he did it with Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Was it Mark Henry or was it Khali that he screwed up the shell shock with? It was one of them. One of the bigger guys. He did the shell shock and he screwed up, tried to do it twice. He screwed up the second time.
Are you talking about maybe Tensai? That was like a long time.
Yes, it was
Yeah, that's
Tensai.
right. He couldn't lift him up. So
Yeah, I would assume Ryback pins Big Show with the does the shell shock on him, and then Miz still has something to complain about because he didn't actually lose the match, and then you can continue the feud.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see too much more traction, especially
What's everyone's thoughts on Ryback?
You know they're doing
I
this
don't
tag
hate him,
team
but
tournament
match he had
classic
with
on
him-
NXT for Dusty Rhodes. Why not do like an intercontinental tournament in honor of Roddy Piper too? To add some spice to something
Yeah, that's
because
not bad.
who else do you put? It's Ryback after this. I mean, him and Miz can only go for so long. Who's after that?
Well, that's actually funny you say, because I had a note down for Orton and Sheamus, and after the Orton-Sheamus thing, I don't know how much longer they can do this match. They've done it over 100 times.
Tonight will be it, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. So I think I would personally like to see Orton get involved in the IC title picture because we've seen Cena get involved in the U.S. title picture. So with Orton really not doing much after this,
I don't think it's going to do anything for either one because
well, I think Orton can do a lot for Ryback if they were to feud. And
Yeah,
I don't even think you have to turn Orton heel. I think you just have Orton say, "I want to go after the IC title," and as simple as that.
First time
I
in
think
11
those two
years,
can
too.
really work well together. I think Ryback's gotten a lot better since
if
he's
you watch
won
the
the
match
IC
without Bray
title.
Wyatt, Ryback can kind of go actually. He just needs
he's
a little
gotten
more
much better.
spit and polish.
Yeah.
And with Orton, you probably can get that, but the problem is I don't think anyone's gonna care too much unless you make Orton.
There's not much interest in Orton anymore.
You gotta make Orton that was attacking the McMahons at that point. You gotta make him so
but he's.
I actually
You're
do
gonna
think
turn
Ryback and Orton, if they did a 1 month, one-off match where they're both good guys, sort of similar to like Orton and Jericho from last year when they had that really good pay-per-view match,
Mhm.
or Jericho and Neville on that Japan special. Like just a one-off match where both the guys are good guys. I think I think they would probably have a pretty good match. I actually think that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, and I mean, that could be what starts, reigniting people's interest in Orton is for the first time in 11, 12 years, Orton's going after a mid-card belt.
Kinda
Something
like
he hasn't done since he beat Benoit. And, I feel like we need an international answer on this.
What?
On this match. So we're going to ask an Australian.
Ah,
Hello.
Long time no talk, sir.
good morning.
Good
Absolutely. Good morning. Hello, everybody.
morning. He just woke up.
I'm an hour late because I got my time differences wrong, but I'm here.
Shit happens.
You're in Australia.
It certainly does.
Things happen in time zones.
What are we talking about?
We're just giving our predictions on the Big Show, Miz, and Ryback storyline.
And we're thinking about what happens if Orton has a one-off feud
Yes.
with Ryback and see if that would do anything for Ryback.
I think that's a logical thing to do, to add Orton to the mix eventually after post SummerSlam. I mean, like right now, the IC title has been in a death spot for so long, and it's just been the kiss of death for so many careers. And I think they need to kind of boost it to someone. They tried to obviously if Daniel Bryan was healthy going into 2015, I think it would be a different story, but. Orton sounds like a good fit. I mean, what's he doing? He's boosting Sheamus for whatever they're going to do with Sheamus. And once he's done, give him an IC title shot. Yeah, Ryback versus Orton would be an interesting kind of combination, I think.
It gives some star power to the belt. What they've been lacking, what they tried to make up for with Ryback, and it kind of swung and missed with it. It kind of gets what they wanted from Bryan, and that's even something we could touch on in a little bit with Bryan. As there's a lot of reports that he could be coming back.
As I said, if he comes back, he's got to be put in the main event. I'm sorry.
It depends on what they do with Cena, but
absolutely. I think me and Aaron were talking during the week, and I think Aaron mentioned about the plan for Bryan, or what he pitched to Vince was the whole idea of becoming an exclusive IC champion for SmackDown, and trying to boost that belt up to make it like he does promos on Raw, but he competes on SmackDown for the IC title, which I think
I
sounds great
remember
to me.
an interview we had with somebody where he wanted to do that.
And that also gives SmackDown a dedicated title, which they haven't had since the split of, since Washington unified the belt again.
And it makes SmackDown relevant.
Yeah.
Probably go even further than that, because how many times you had the world champion on Raw and the WWE champion on SmackDown when Punk was champion, at least.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on, we got Family and Family. Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Who wins and who turns?
All right,
That's the question.
I want to go first on this one.
Go for it.
I think everyone is really looking to this turn, and my final prediction, I was going back and forth on it. I was like, well, if Reigns turns, this doesn't really make much sense, because I just recently went Friday night to a live event in Bridgeport, and Reigns got one of the biggest pops of the night. So I think Reigns, they really want to propel him into that babyface role, and I think he's gotten much better. And I think to turn him now would almost discredit all the time you've given to him. Through this
Reigns
year,
ain't
trying to make him that's what I mean. So I think there's no way Reigns turns. Ambrose, I heard a number recently that he's top 5 in merchandise sales right now. So I don't think WWE would want to turn him right now as far as the merchandise things go. I don't know how much that would fluctuate if he did turn heel or not. I think no one turns. I think there's another element added to this feud. I would be on the lookout for Eric Rowan, possibly make a return here. And I think this feud actually continues past SummerSlam.
I don't think there's any true turn. I think in the end of this feud, Ambrose and Reigns will quote-unquote lose the feud, because I do think they're going to finally do the Shield triple threat at WrestleMania next year. So I don't think anyone fully loses. I think in that feud, Ambrose is the tweener role, while Reigns is the clear good guy and Rollins is the clear bad guy. So they can set up for like Ambrose set up with Reigns or something, but I don't think it'll be a full turn.
Do you think? So you said like a Shield reuniting at WrestleMania to fight the Wyatts? Is that what you think?
Sorry. I mean, a
Triple threat
triple
match.
threat between the three of them, which they
Okay.
have still not done. They've really held out on doing Ambrose versus Rollins.
And they
versus
kept them
Reigns.
far apart. I mean, aside from teaming them,
Gotcha.
I mean, they've kept them as far away from Rollins as they
And I-
could.
Since they
then.
split up, I've always thought that was
It's
Mania.
good.
Yeah, they
I
had
thought that was
one
going to be a
off
Mania
Fatal
31,
but that was it.
and they've
That
still
was
held on.
a
Which
nice,
now I'll say
Mm.
satisfying
32.
appetizer, if you will. But
So I think are we all agreeing that
I think the Wyatts
the
go over.
shield goes over.
I think White's go over too. I think
That's-
I'm one of the people that kind of thinks that the turn could happen with Ambrose on Rollins. On Reigns. I think if you're looking for something to kind of bolster Reigns as a uber babyface going into the end of 2015,
Then
I
have
think
him-
Ambrose could really bring out the best in Roman. I think I've always wanted a heel Dean Ambrose on television. I've seen him what he was doing like with his rivalry with William Regal coming out through the developmental stage, and that was just incredible. And I think he would fit a much more of a heel role, and I think he could really bring out the best in Roman. So I think there could be a chance of a turn if they just go the simple route, and actually it doesn't happen.
I wouldn't
That's
put
fine,
it
too.
past WWE to turn Ambrose, but I think tonight it would be the wrong move because I think so many things are going to happen tonight. I think there's going to be a
Yes,
turn
good point.
somewhere else in the show,
Yeah,
which I'll get to
it's-
later as we get there.
If he turns, it's
So I think this would kind of get lost in the shuffle. You could save it for next month at Night of Champions. You could save it for the month after that. Who knows? But in the end, I think we see the
I
Wyatts
think we
somehow
start
win
seeing
this
some
match.
friction tonight. I think we start seeing some friction between Reigns and Ambrose tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Because
Reigns
yeah,
will take the fall, and then
small
Ambrose gets a
crack.
little.
Yeah, miscommunication and then leads to the finish. Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
sets up another tag match, and that's where maybe the
And another
Roman
loss for
tag
Roman
champion-
Reigns on pay-per-view.
But you know, if the Wyatts win, I think this is the first time since Bray Wyatt debuted that he'd get 2 pay-per-view wins in a row.
I would
He's
not
only
doubt
to
it.
the first pay-per-view.
Oh,
he's
God.
won
Yep.
on pay-per-view, but I mean, I don't think he's won twice in a row. Because he
If
debuted
he
in
loses,
Maine and then he
yeah,
lost
if
to
Roman
Brian
Reigns
Punk.
loses, I tell you what, it's just like at the start of the year, it's like we're gonna give Roman Reigns all the wins we can get, and now they're like, oh, we got to change our philosophy. So now we're gonna give him all the losers that we can give him. This I think it's funny.
Next up here, guys, we got one of them. I think we only got 3 matches left, 4 matches left. I think.
Yeah, but
We got the title match. We got the match too big for Mania. We got
Let's get into
Stevens.
Owens and Cesaro.
Yes, Owens and Cesaro. I think Owens wins to get more heat on him and to get more fans behind Cesaro to want to see him go over Owens at
So you're trying to
Night of
build
Champions.
Cesaro as the underdog, essentially.
everybody bought the pay-per-view tonight to see The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. But the
Yeah.
match that everybody's going to be talking about tomorrow is Owens
Yep.
Cesaro.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
they're going to steal the show. These
Oh, I
are
have
two
no-
guys that have worked all over the world in the Indies. They're going to bring an element that the fans aren't used to seeing.
I hope so.
No, I am truly looking forward to that match. I think it's going to be.
I think-
certain people are going to underrate it, and then they're going to be completely shocked by the
I don't think anybody's really going to underrate it at this point, especially with Owens involved and how great he performed last night in the ladder match with Finn Balor.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, if
He was
anybody's
outstanding.
underrating anybody, I think it's Cesaro. I think
I
Owens
just
has
have-
proved on a consistent basis he can go, whether it's Finn Balor, whether it's Sami Zayn, or whether it's John Cena. But Cesaro hasn't really had many opportunities, at least in a one-on-one thing, to really show. I mean, he's been more of a spot monkey. I hate to say that about him, but I mean, it's been all about the swing.
Here's my problem with Owens winning is that for me logically, I can't have Owens beat a 100% healthy Cesaro after coming off a grueling, brutal ladder match.
Absolutely.
I can't make that connection in my head. I just can't do it. So I'm going with Cesaro here.
Some kind of
somehow win
shenanigans?
this
And then you
match.
can have Owens complain that he wasn't 100%, and then they
Exactly.
get a rematch in there.
Or I can see,
Exactly.
I can
And that's
see
your
Owens. I can see Owens getting disqualified as well. I can see Owens just having enough and taking Cesaro outside of the ring and powerbombing him on the apron and doing all these things to make him look strong. But in a sense, you give Cesaro the victory in result.
Now, we were
This
talking
is-
earlier
this
about
is- I think-
building feuds, right? What about Owens and Cesaro being in a Hell in a Cell as their final?
I don't think it goes this far.
I don't think.
I don't think so either.
I think it'll culminate at United Champions or maybe the Raw after.
Yeah, I honestly think like WWE's kind of booked these two in a corner a bit because, like me and Aaron discussed a while back. I honestly think that Owen should have been the man to defeat John Cena and be the new US champion.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
That didn't happen, and now you've got Cesaro who's on the up and up.
He's kind of like being Cena Light.
What was that, sorry?
I said he's kind of like Cena Light. Like they had him with Cena, so to me, it's kind of like they got him trying to be like a watered down version of Cena in place of him in the feud with him.
I guess so, yeah, to a degree. But I think WWE's kind of booked themselves in a corner with these two guys because at this stage, both need to win at SummerSlam, I think, and they both need to walk away with a win. I don't
think it matters who wins because the match is going to be so good.
Yeah. But that's a really winner.
But I can't fathom Owens losing 2 nights in a row.
I can't fathom Cesaro losing because I think it's another stop-start kind of like push for him, and I think on grand stage he needs it more than Owens. I think at the end of the day,
I think this is the hardest match on the show to predict.
You know what?
It is. It's very hard.
The only way that it can end and come out good for both of them is they're so into the brawl that a double count out happens.
Well, that's something I was going to touch on.
At each other.
That was something I was going to touch on because me and Joel are, I guess, diehard fans of Jim Ross. And Jim Ross has talked about this 100 times over, where we induce a time limit, a double count out, a double disqualification, something where it saves both guys and you don't have to have a definitive winner and you can always move it to the next pay-per-view and there's something to look forward to. But I do agree with Joe that there is a point that I think the match is going to be so good that I don't think people are really going to remember who wins and who loses down the line. But I think right now, I just can't fathom either guy taking a clean victory, which is why I'm going to go with Owens getting disqualified.
Yeah, I think it'll be some weird ending. I'm one of the people. I think it was smart to not have Owens beat Cena for the title. Maybe they shouldn't have done the title match to begin with, but I think Owens winning that title would have been another dead end. I think this way at least he's building back up to something again. But in this case, my instinct would be probably tonight is not a very clean ending, so I think this will continue at least one more month. I
could see a double dick here.
Like anything could happen. I really have no idea.
I think it's just going to be a chance for both of these guys, especially Cesaro, to really go out there and him break the routine of being a spot monkey, if you will, where he's just going out of the spot after spot after spot. Where it's going to be, they're going to tell a story. They're going to take us on a journey.
I think you can argue that this is Cesaro's biggest match of his career.
Yeah, absolutely. Big time.
Interesting theory.
He's on fire. Cesaro as a babyface, I've been wanting this for so long, and now we have it. He's just been so good. Like, he just fits the role of just being this, like,
he's kind of got
technical machine. It's just awesome. Like, he's just been great in the ring. So I hope he wins. So I'm picking Cesaro.
I'm picking, you guys talked about a double count on, maybe double DQ somehow. You know, they just keep rolling in the corners. Like, I agree with you guys. There's going to be some kind of shouting
the referee at the same time.
I definitely could see Owens getting really, really frustrated and just throwing a chair in the ring and just decking him.
I do like the idea of them being on the outside and them just not realizing they're going to count it out. And then even when the count out happens, they just keep fighting and they just go
straight into the back.
They just keep fighting. Exactly. I wouldn't be opposed to that either. That'd be a really smart way to do it.
I would love to see Owens selling the fact that he's just pissed off about what happened at TakeOver. I mean, there was a video that was on WWE.com that I just checked out of him getting carried out of TakeOver, and he was almost in tears. So I'd love him to be selling the loss tonight at SummerSlam.
And another interview they had was him walking in the back, and a guy came up to him. He's like, "Owens, can I just get your thoughts?" And he turned around. He just gave one quick answer. He said, "I'm going to destroy Cesaro tomorrow night," and just walked away. So
he's so good. I love him.
If you didn't know, me and Joel are huge Owens.
Have you ever seen him live?
Oh my god.
Have you ever seen Kevin Owens live?
I saw him live Friday night. Yep.
Yes.
Friday night.
I saw him live in 2013 at ROH when he lost the title to Jay Briscoe. He's awesome.
I've seen him at PWG events, and I think he's one of the best bigger guys out there. The way he moves, half of the things that he does in the ring, most others his size can't. On top of that, there's a layer of ring psychology that he brings. Everything he does in the ring has a purpose.
Yeah, and just his ability to improvise and come up with little throwaway lines to say and all of that is why it's just that there was no question he wasn't going to be successful just because he's so smart on his feet.
And you guys already probably talked about Takeover, but I thought the one standing highlight for me out of that ladder match was he sets up the ladder in front of Finn Balor on the outside, and you think he's going to do some spectacular move.
Yeah.
Instead, he's old school heel, and he just stops and punches him in the face.
Yeah,
I just love it. It's like, he gets it.
With using a headlock for 5 minutes, I think all of that is great.
Talking trash. Exactly. He gets it. It's great.
So, we got 3 matches left here, guys, and we'll BS a little bit more. I don't think we gave full predictions on the Divas triple threat tag match.
I got my money on Charlotte.
There's no question. I think this is the easiest match to predict.
Yeah.
Charlotte is not going to lose for like 18 months now.
I think the Bellas take out Team
She's
Bad.
been winning a lot.
I think by
more.
Nikki pinning Tamina or something, and then PCB takes out the Bellas.
I was looking at an article, I forget which website it was on, where they were talking about, how soon is the crowd going to turn on Charlotte. Because WWE is probably not going to ever lose for a really long time. She's clearly going to win the Divas title next. I don't agree with it. As I said, I think Sasha Banks is Wrestler of the Year. But they love Charlotte. Mm-hmm. She's clearly set up to, be the next champ.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
I think putting Sasha Banks with that belt right now, it's too soon. It's too soon. You got to think that there's another layer to Charlotte. She is genetically superior because of who her father is. You gotta, of her brother, even her brother, David Flair, didn't catch a lot of it from her dad, but for some reason she did. And she understands the business and what to do as either a face champion or a heel champion to keep the people interested. If you look at her body of work in NXT, it speaks for itself. Looking at what she did in NXT, keeping people captivated, there's no other reason than that to put it on Charlotte, and then you can do the whole feud with Sasha Banks on Raw all over again.
I think when it comes down to all the ladies that are moving up to the NXT roster, I think she's easily the one of the most accessible people because of her heritage. So that's why she's naturally going to get the push, and I think she's got the skills to kind of support a good title reign. So
I want to see where you guys are with this comment I'm about to make. Where I don't know if it seems like it to you guys, but I feel like Charlotte, this stage has almost become too big for her. In a sense, because I think a lot of times on the main roster, she's looked really just kind of out of place, and she doesn't really know what. I think in the ring she's looked fine, but I think everything else, backstage interviews, on commentary, she just kind of just doesn't look like she knows what she's doing yet. And I think this goes back to the thing where I talked about on our show, Joel, like a while back, is that I don't know if she's ready for this push as far as as far as her charisma goes and her being able to talk and do this stuff. I think she may not need it at the same time. She has the woo and she has the connection with the player, and maybe that'll get her over enough. But I think there's going to come a point where she's going to have to get better on the mic and those little things that we notice as far as hardcore fans.
I agree with you almost completely. If you've noticed, pretty much any time she, gets propelled up, whether it's winning the NXT title to debuting on Raw, they add more and more of the Flair stuff to her.
Exactly.
So, first it was the entrance music, then it was having her do the woo all the time, having her use the chop, and now they switched her finisher to be Flair's finisher. So they keep adding more and more of the Flair stuff, and I think it's exactly what you said. I think it's to overcome the fact that she is not the most charismatic person.
Which is why I think they're placing Sasha in a role where she's going to succeed before Charlotte. I actually disagree with a lot of what people think. Is I think everyone thinks Charlotte's going to get this big push to the title. I actually think Sasha's going to be the one to get that push to the title sooner than Charlotte.
I think she's gonna get. The push, but I think at the end of the day, everyone's gonna be talking about Sasha Banks, not Charlotte.
Agree.
Yeah.
It's going to be Sasha will ultimately be the star of all of this, but
Yeah.
Charlotte's beating. Who's going to, in the short term, beat Nikki Bella for the title, which is probably happening soon-ish. It'll be Charlotte at this point, but Sasha Banks is the long-term success.
Sasha Banks definitely is a standout. I mean, she's phenomenal in the ring. Her finisher is something else. I mean, that's a finisher most guys would like to do, but let alone she does it, and it's badass move. Excuse my French, but it's badass.
That moment last night when she had Bayley in the finisher and Bayley was reaching for the ropes and Sasha just stomped on her hand.
Oh my God!
Seen done before was I think the highlight of that whole show was brilliant.
It's simple. So simple. And just very quickly, guys, it sounds like we're talking about Sasha and Charlotte as individual competitors. Doesn't seem like anyone's talking about this faction stuff.
No.
Isn't that interesting?
And you and me, Joel, have talked about it 100 times over, where this whole
we
thing
have.
needs to end.
So stupid. Like, what the fuck are they fighting for? Excuse my language, but like,
we're not kid friendly here.
Yeah, I just remembered that. But seriously, like, what the fuck? It's just, it's so. I think it's gonna be a clusterfuck at SummerSlam. This
it
match.
is. It's nothing more than the vehicle to get them introduced, and then.
I mean, I've said to Joel, I understand the reasoning behind it from WWE's aspect. We want to put these divas with recognizable faces that casual fans will be able to recognize with, but at the same time, it's just kind of too much. It's too many people involved.
I like
Reigns, Ambrose all came to the main roster and got associated with main event talent, and they just kept winning matches, and all of a sudden they were treated like a big deal. Why can't we do the same thing with the Divas division? Honestly,
I like the Team Bella idea.
Because the Divas division is treated like the tag team division. The only reason the Divas division is getting the exposure it is right now is partly because of NXT and the Total Divas show on the E Network.
Yeah, they got a hand.
Otherwise, they're treated like the tag team division where, okay, we need some time to fill here, so we're going to throw an awesome tag team match. But we're not going to keep it consistent because we don't need time to fill anywhere else.
They've never done with the tag division what they're doing now with the Divas division, where suddenly, as of a month ago, the Divas got 4 times the amount of time on Raw.
Yeah, and I mean, if they did it with the tag, it'd be like the equivalent of them bringing in the Dudleys and Red Dragon and the Young Bucks and all these tag teams that haven't been in before.
Oh, please, God, bring the Young Bucks.
Or Blake and Murphy, just bring these guys in. But let me ask you guys, to Joel's point, do you guys think that could be a way they introduce Bayley? Maybe Nikki beats Sasha, Charlotte, and Bayley comes in, debuts, kind of the way that Paige did.
I think Bayley stays in NXT for a lot longer.
Yeah,
I think she's gonna have a very lengthy title run until because you got to remember there is nobody down there besides Bayley right now that can take that title right now and put together solid matches. Not even great matches, solid matches.
They need to bring in these new divas first. Casey Cassidy and Jessie McKay and the new divas they have down there who are the established.
I think we know who's going to beat Bayley for the belt.
What's that one diva's name? This is just how forgettable she is. The one that's rolling around with Emma in NXT.
Oh, Dana Brooke. She's awful.
She's horrid.
Technically, she's awful. Yeah. Technically, she's awful, but I think she's got a real poise about it, and she's green as grass right now compared to what we're used to in NXT.
But
I think she's got something.
Where Bayley has to stay down there for a long time.
I don't know, John, if you remember at that NXT San Jose show, she almost hurt people during her match.
Was that her that wrestled in that match with
it was one of the first times she wrestled, and it was.
We didn't know who she was at the time.
Yeah, no, we had no idea who she was. And what else? Or what was I going to say? I think we all know who's going to beat Bayley for the belt because didn't they have a vignette for Rock's cousin?
Nick's Jax.
Is that who she is?
She's in that Samoan family.
Yeah. She'll be the one who beats Bayley.
Another reckless Samoan in the women's division. That's all we need.
Another Beth Phoenix. But
they have a few indie people who are good, so I think that they'll start transitioning them in.
No, I know. They showed Kana last night at the NXT
That's the
show.
rumor. Yeah, that's the rumors that they signed Kana, which would be insane.
she's not a massive star that's well known, and the fact that they showed her on television is pretty much a hint. And apparently she's cancelled a few of her Shimmer dates upcoming, so I think it's pretty much a shoo-in that she's going to be part of the division. So that's great.
She wrestled. I don't know if she wrestled Sarah Del Rey for Chikara a couple of years ago, which is a really great match.
Is Sarah Del Rey too old to get back in the ring?
No, but they.
I think they're dead set on having her as a trainer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool.
She's way more valuable as a trainer than she is as a wrestler.
I would agree with that.
So, we got 2 matches left. We got about 9 minutes left, at least. Unless you guys are okay with running a little bit late.
I'm not.
I got a
We're
problem.
gonna be the first time.
So, all right. In that case, well, we can take our time and not rush through these. We got the first of 2 main events. Oh no, we got Orton and Sheamus. Does anybody care about Orton and Sheamus?
I don't think anyone cares about Orton and Sheamus. That should be the pre-show match.
I mean,
Hold
the
on,
only
hold
thing.
on. Let me check. Wait. Yep, no fucks to give.
Sheamus will get his win back because he lost.
I was going to say the only thing.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
The only thing I think to watch is if Sheamus loses. I think there's a little bit more of a possibility that he cashes in the Money in the Bank. Kind of the way that Seth lost to Mania.
Unless he runs down to the ring, bashes Cena in the face of the briefcase, then bashes Rollins in the face of the briefcase, has it to the left, and cashes in. That's the only way it happens.
What I want to do, I want him to throw the briefcase at someone's face, and then he bro kicks the briefcase into their face.
That'd be one way to get rid of the briefcase.
I just wanted to say really quickly that
break his nose
I
again.
do want to give them some kind of respect where Orton and Sheamus really do have great chemistry, and I'm afraid that they're not going to get any chance at all tonight. They're going to get booed out of the building. The fans in Brooklyn are going to chant NXT and all this stuff, and they're going to be distracting. And that's really not fair to those guys because they are really good together.
I think the opinion on Orton has changed enough that they won't do it to Orton. I think he's been good enough this year. Sheamus will get booed out of the building.
I think they'll be distracted during this match, and they'll be chanting NXT and all this stuff.
I think
that's like 50,000 times. So
and that's the issue.
And it's always been good, though. It's always been good.
It's been solid. It's been solid, but it hasn't been anything special. And I think the fact that we've seen it a billion times, it means so little that we're going to see it again on pay-per-view. Why do we even need to see it at Battleground? Give it a 2-month build and then have the payoff tonight. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, nobody cares about Orton and Sheamus. Main event time. Part 1 of 2.
They should have added some gimmick to the match. They should have added some gimmick to the match to make it feel different.
Or probably, I hope they're not stupid and they don't do a fan vote where it's Street Fight versus No Holds Barred versus Last Man Standing or something. Where it's all the same damn thing.
In a street fight, they wear jeans.
No, that was just Sean that wore the cowboy jeans with the cowboy boots and everything.
Oh dear.
Sean like went all out to try to dress up like, something different than his wrestling attire for it.
He did it with Edge as well as Triple H. He always dressed in straight gear and made the match better. Anyway, main event.
Cena, Rollins, title for title. Who walks out as WWE and United States champion?
I just want to say very, very quickly. I just want to say very, very, very quickly that all I've been hearing all week when it comes down to predictions for this match is a disputed finish where no one walks away with two belts. To that, I reply, why the hell even have the stipulation where 2 belts are on the line if that's going to be your finish? I honestly think that someone should walk away with 2 belts because you're selling it. But anyway,
I think it's just to get more people to buy the network and buy the pay-per-view. To have them think that there's going to be a guy with 2 belts, and then they walk away with some bullshit finish. I mean, that's kind of the status quo that WWE's, stuck us in all years, especially since Seth won the belt, is we're not going to get a legitimate finish. We're not going to get a clean finish. Where it's going to be almost a TNA-esque finish, where somebody runs in or some bullshit thing happens with Seth. I mean,
do you see the reemergence of JJ Security? And that's the thing about Seth Rollins is the role that he's playing is he's the undisputed future. It's just, I don't know if you guys want to know, but I'm actually wearing his shirt because he's one of my guys.
I'm wearing the Authority shirt.
I think he plays the heel role right. He's good at playing that evil just slipping up with the title by the skin of his teeth. We're going to see a little bit about that, but I mean, this match for Cena is so pumped up. I mean, half of the crowd is still chanting against Cena because he's Cena.
By the way, speaking of Cena, did anybody hear the chants for Cena last night, or rather chants against Cena last night in the Balor-Owens match?
No.
I don't know how far. I think it was a couple minutes into the match.
They were chanting something about a screen.
No, they were saying
Yeah,
"fuck you, Cena."
No. Someone got kicked out because they took that orange streamer in the ring, right? So everyone's like,
there were a bunch of stuff going on during that match. There was first, I think somebody threw that streamer, like you said, and got kicked out, and they were trying to make the guy stay. They were chanting, "Let him stay."
yes,
And then the big screen in the Barclays Center went out for at least half of the first half of the match.
we can't see. Yeah.
You can't see. Put the screen up.
Remember that.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear what they were saying. Wayne told me there was a "fuck you, Cena" chant.
It was fuck you. It was
Why?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, it was "fuck you" screen.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Wasn't there a "Full Sail Sucks" chant at the beginning of the show?
Yes, there was. Yes, there was.
That one I didn't like.
That's-
I-
Those NXT crowds are getting pretty rowdy.
yeah, I did not
Oh, yeah.
see the big arena.
You can tell they have their bowl of cereals before they go to the show.
I completely agree with you, Joe. That I felt like the NXT product in that big arena felt really out of place to me. And I don't know. Yeah, it really did. I thought the biggest sufferer of that was Liger and Breeze. I felt like they really just it was kind of almost too big for that match. That's the feeling I got until the main events, until the final two main events. That's the feeling I got throughout the show.
The was 5,000. That felt okay. I felt like the arena was 15,000. It just if something felt missing. So I think part of the allure of NXT is the intimate atmosphere.
Exactly.
I was a little giddy watching.
I honestly disagree with you guys. I thought the fact that we still had the NXT crowd energy throughout the whole show.
And
I mean, like that freaking Vaudevillains Blake and Murphy match. There was nothing to that match. It was a basic tag team match.
You have a good point. That's true.
Yeah, with that finish, fans went ballistic.
Yep.
And the energy, because I remember
Blue
seeing
Pants came
a
out.
message that Blue Pants, exactly.
She got pop of the
nuts
night.
with that chick
Blue Pants got pop of the night.
at that stage.
But I mean,
until Bailey won the NXT Women's Championship, I thought. And that pop for that versus Hurricane. Holy shit!
I'm going to diagnose one thing for Aaron and for Triple M. I don't know if he's been to one before. You guys got to go to an NXT show.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought NXT was
They're always
epic.
trying to make me go this weekend, but I just kind of couldn't muster up the cash. And
Aaron had the chance to buy a $37 ticket to the Barclays Center.
yeah.
But that's a little bit of a haul from Connecticut to Brooklyn.
Well, it's everything involved, the driving, the parking, all.
I know.
It adds up so quick. Hey, the live event I went to Friday night cost me like $100 in total. Like that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think I paid $60 for the NXT show in Pittsburgh.
I'm waiting for NXT to come to LA, and then I'll go to one of their shows.
You should
have
have
to
been
go
up
to
in
one of
San
the
Jose.
shows.
And
I watch it religiously on the network, and it's great wrestling. It's like
I want to talk for John as well, and I know I'm definitely talking for him when we say that's easily one of the greatest live events I've ever been to in my life. It was just the energy in that building was something you can't replace, you can't replicate.
You can't. If anybody's going to give credit for me going to that, Joel, or I think it's you. Because we were still on the fence about it, and you just kept harping on me and Matt. But guys, I'm telling you, to Joel's point, there's nothing like an NXT show.
Yeah,
that atmosphere, it's just.
Like to go to it.
I wish I was there, and I would have had the chance. My vacation got screwed up because my aunt was supposed to be going on a cruise this weekend, and then she tells me once she told me that, I'm like, all right, well, I got to go down a month earlier. So I'm down there last month, and then I'm like, so where are you guys going on the cruise? You guys never said. Oh, we're not going. I just looked at it like, I could strangle you right now.
Even those NXT house shows, you never know. Because I went to the Pittsburgh show, and the main event, you will probably never see ever again. I saw a four-way match with Owens, Balor, Tyler Breeze and Samoa Joe.
Oh yeah, they were doing that.
We got the
circuit circuit,
GTS.
Yeah.
We had the GTS in San Jose.
Yeah.
Lord knows the next time we'll see that.
Yeah.
And that's why I like it. Any WWE house show is always like a better, for some reason, it's a whole different experience than a televised show.
Absolutely.
Because they actually give the guys time to go. Like, go, have fun.
You know, talking about time,
Exactly.
that they had the same thing last night that they did in San Jose. That was supposed to be. I think they said it was only supposed to be like an hour and a half show. Joel, if I remember right, they said it was only going to be like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it went
The
3.5.
show ran about an hour and a half long. Yeah.
But
It's great.
that was awesome, and I hate you
Main
for
event time, Cena and Rollins.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta get back to.
So who walks out as champion? Do we agree that there's going to be some kind of bullshit
It's going
finish?
to be a DQ finish. Each man walks out with their own title.
I think the finish to this match really depends on what they're going to do for Brock and Taker, because I think you can't have two indecisive finishes for both matches. So I think this is going to be the one that is indecisive, and I think the Taker Brock match is going to be the one that has the decisive ending. Oh, all right. I think we're going to get some kind of involvement from Triple H, because I think on Monday night they really hinted at it, and Cena really poked Triple H's buttons, calling. He did. He really went at him, and I think we do see Triple H somehow either get involved here, where he screws Rollins, he screws Cena, he does something where, and Triple H has had a track record at SummerSlam to get involved in that.
Triple H being the World Heavyweight Champion and U.S. Champion.
Hey, that'd be great.
Could Triple H set up something to possibly set up a match between himself and Cena? Maybe Brian, hypothetically, I'm gonna
build for WrestleMania.
Huh?
A slow build between Cena and Triple H for WrestleMania.
No, I'm saying
I think WrestleMania will be Cena going for number 16. I think they're going to really start building that up now.
I think they'd bolster the subscriptions and try to do Cena if they did that at Night of Champions. Why not have
Does it bother anybody else that Triple H only has 13 title reigns and Cena's about to get a 16?
I'm on record on our show.
Aaron.
Aaron, please retort that, please.
Well, I mean, we all know that if Triple H didn't have to go backstage and take care of NXT, then he'd still be wrestling right now.
Yeah, he'd be on his 18th title reign.
Yeah, so
I just want to throw it out there. I'm one of the only people that thinks that we could actually get a legit finish for this match, and I see something formulating that I've been predicting since the start of the year. We're going to see Triple H somehow inadvertently cost Rollins the WWE Championship, and thus start building towards Triple H versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 32. So I see Cena winning tonight.
You have been talking about that for a few months now.
The only reason I do think they're going to do that eventually. If it was anyone other than Cena, I would say that would be possible. I think they're going to make I can't see Cena winning number 16 and that being like a nothing. I think they're going to make that.
They would make it more of a.
What do you do with the U.S. title after this?
You have Cena lose it to someone that
What
deserves
about Orton? I mean, if there's some talk.
If Cena now has the World Heavyweight Championship and the U.S. Championship, who can he drop it to and still keep the credibility of being the U.S. champion?
I would think they would.
The WWE.
That was the talk.
And hand it to the crowd.
That was the talk. Was that they were still trying to figure that out, and there was one plan that they were going to vacate the U.S. title upon the finish of this match.
Could potentially be a silly reason, but I don't think they're going to have someone defend both titles because both Ring of Honor and Evolve are doing that right now, and they'll look like they're copying both of those indie promotions.
Yeah, but I don't think they care.
No, at this point, I don't think they do.
I don't think they want to look like a copycat. I think that
they already do.
But there's a majority.
I don't think WWE cares.
WWE does not care whatsoever. Yeah. If anything, WWE will think it was their idea in the first place.
Exactly.
Even though Jay Lethal's been champion for 2 months.
So we talk about Brock Lesnar and Undertaker.
Well, I just wanted to say, does anyone here think Rollins walks away with both titles tonight?
No.
No.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to make bold prediction of the night. I say Sheamus cashes in and somehow walks out as both WWE and United States champion.
Here's my thing. I think the Sheamus and Orton match has definitely some standing in this match as well. I think something we'll see is I think Sheamus somehow cheats to beat Randy Orton. Sheamus then tries to cash in during this match. Orton comes out, blocks him again, and I think that definitely has some kind of play in this match. I think, but I don't know if Sheamus does actually cash in. Does then it become a triple threat match for both titles still, or does it become a single match?
That's what happened at WrestleMania. When Rollins cashed in, it became a triple threat match. All other rules to the standing.
But the thing is, that was for one title. Does that then... if Sheamus cashes in tonight, does that mean it's for the United States title and the WWE title? Because Sheamus' contract is only for the WWE title.
Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? Because he's inserting himself into an active match.
Yeah, but that's my question. That's my question. Does that have any standing? What do we think about that?
I would think they'd have him cash in after the match to prevent that.
You know what?
I don't think that happens. I don't think Sheamus leaves tonight with that.
I don't see any one man holding both of those titles. I don't see any one man carrying both of those belts.
Should we talk about Lesnar?
Well,
speaking of all the
Taker.
My final thing is I think both guys walk away with their respective belts.
I think Triple H is champion.
United States title. I think Rollins walks away with the WWE title.
And one of the benefits of that is this match does not have to be the main event, so they can have a screwy finish since it is not the main event.
It can have a little kabuki stuff going on.
I want a decisive finish, damn it, so I'm choosing Cena.
I'll say Seth Rollins, just to be the difference.
Okay.
I'm gonna say DQ. So everybody.
I'm only picking Rollins because I'm wearing an Authority shirt. So.
You're wearing an Authority shirt?
You actually bought that with money?
The gray one?
I'm actually wearing the Undisputed Future shirt. So I mean, like I said, he's one of my guys. He's one of the guys that I like.
I'm going to rant for a second, and I ranted to Joel in person when we were in San Jose. We went to Raw the night after WrestleMania, and I went to like 4 different merch stands. You think they had one fucking piece of Seth Rollins merch there anywhere in the building?
That's weird. That was very
They
weird.
didn't have one fucking shirt, anything of Rollins. I said to them when we were in the car heading to Raw, I don't care how much it is, I'm going to buy a freaking Rollins shirt. And
yeah, you were convinced to get one. But yeah, no NXT merch too. Crazy.
You know what? I had to go to 4 different Hot Topic stores to find my Seth Rollins shirt.
They had one at the one I was at last month, but my fat ass didn't fit, so I had to settle. All right, guys. So this is it. Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, the match that people were dreading at the start, and now people are looking forward to because Taker's the heel. Who walks out victorious, Brock Lesnar or The Underquaker?
Taker. I
You want to say?
which is
You want it?
sets up Mania 32.
That's
You
what I'm going with as well.
want to say Taker gets his comeuppance where he gets a little redemption. You know, the fans don't want to see a broken down and beaten Undertaker. To go 2 pay-per-views that he's been in and lose, it's like murdering the Undertaker's character.
Here's my thing, though, and me and Joel talked about it 100 times. The booking of The Undertaker has been so weird that I can't really wrap my head around him getting a clean victory tonight because he's gotten his comeuppance. He tombstoned Lesnar in his hometown last Monday. He's low blow Taker I think twice, or he's low blow Lesnar twice. Everything about The Undertaker screams heel, but you're telling me he's going to get a babyface victory over Lesnar tonight? Like, I just don't see how they make that connection.
I don't know that it's a babyface victory. I just think he wins.
Well, here's one thing that...
Can you turn Taker heel at this point?
No.
Because
he was in Minneapolis.
He's such a special attraction, the fans are going to cheer for either way you book him.
Yeah.
But Lesnar's the most popular guy in the company right now.
True.
That's the one potential caveat. If
Well-
they're going to do something to set up the third match at WrestleMania next year, it's the only WrestleMania match left for Undertaker.
The only way they
Except
can set up the third match is a win for the Undertaker here at SummerSlam. That's the only way they can set up a third match.
Well, here's one
Yeah,
thing.
that's why I'm saying he has to win somehow. It might not be clean, but he has to win somehow.
If Brock decimates him again and beats him, there's no reason to have a third match.
Well, Jim Ross
Of
brought
course
up
it-
a point on his podcast that if Taker loses tonight, that you can continue to build the thing where Taker has to get one. He has to
Exactly.
find out if he can get one, at least one, against Lesnar and redeem himself at 32.
That's a good point.
What's the incentive for Brock Lesnar to be in the match? I've already beaten this guy twice.
Well, Taker
It's-
then
it's-
goes
it's-
further.
It's the
what
grizzly
is-
old veteran.
Yeah.
It's the grizzly old veteran telling the monster fucking guy, the biggest guy in the company, it's like, give me one more chance. If I can't beat you, I'll walk off into the
It's
sunset. and that's it.
the old cliche. Does he still got it?
But the
Exactly.
Undertaker's career versus Brock Lesnar, and what does Brock Lesnar have to put up?
Well, here's
I think here's exactly what I think. I think Taker can continue to prod and poke Lesnar, and then Taker can finally say, you know what, give me the match, and I'll put my career on the line.
They could absolutely do that. That would totally work. Somehow they need to get to that match at Mania next year.
That has to be a Hell in a Cell match.
Exactly, and I was going to bring that up too. I think there's got to be some stipulation to it as well.
Yep, it's gotta be Undertaker's playground.
well here's one thing that nobody's talked about, and I saw somebody mention it. I don't remember who, and I thought, that's one hell of a way to reintroduce him.
Here's Kane. I know what you're gonna say.
Does Kane interfere? Maybe to set up. I don't know how the hell they do
Logically, I don't
it.
see how you can do it. I don't see.
Yeah, maybe it's Survivor Series. Maybe it's Survivor Series. You can do.
You attach it to authority, and then you turn them face by doing that.
Well, if you keep.
I was just gonna say there is logic there by having Kane.
I
I think
think
something you could do is the night after on Raw, if Taker does lose, you can have Brock go out there with Heyman and say he did it again and start gloating and even Heyman bring up the point that that Lesnar took out Kane, that he's taken out the Undertaker, and then have Kane come out on Raw to feud with Lesnar.
Sorry to interrupt
for the
here.
months going into.
Whoa,
I think we're getting a caller.
I agree that the matches would be awful, but Kane will. I think if we all seem to be going under the assumption that Taker retires next year, which I think is pretty likely, Kane needs to get involved somehow. They need to have their final moment in some way. I don't know what it is.
Guys, I hate to cut in. I think we got a live caller from 905 area code.
Yep. How is this, Alfonso?
Wow, who's this?
This is Mark Madison. How are you?
Oh, hi. This is John Curry, Main Event Madness. We're live on the air.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good. How's the conversation been? Kind of been in and out. I apologize.
That's all right. We're just talking about Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. You got any thoughts for it?
I think between Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker themselves, I mean, the rumor that tends to circulate, unless I'm kind of late to the party here, and I do apologize, tends to be the reinvigoration and reintroduction of Kane potentially to this, which, I mean, I'm not really keen on that. I think it kind of takes something away from the build-up just between the two of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Aaron Ramondale from Wrestling's Right the fact of Kane and Brock kind of feuding into the later part of the year, and I personally think that's a terrible idea. I think Brock should be kept for special people.
Well, I think Brock's become way more, keen on being around more. I mean, this SummerSlam weekend, he's been all over the place. And I think he's kind of had this kind of reinvigoration into kind of wanting to be kind of that guy that they present as their almost face of the company. So I could see Lesnar sticking around after SummerSlam.
Does Lesnar renegotiate his contract for more dates?
I mean, that's always been a provision that if they needed to add more dates to his contract, that they can negotiate that at a given time. But
One thing I will say, if Lesnar does fight Kane, I think it'll be similar to Lesnar Big Show from the Royal Rumble
Me too.
1 or 2 years ago, where Lesnar just annihilates Kane.
Yeah.
And, it's not a competition.
Yeah.
Lesnar just beats the crap out of him, and then Taker has further reason to come back to avenge Kane as well.
All right, so
is Lesnar beyond doing some real attitude era stuff where he goes to Paul Bear's gravesite and desecrates it somehow?
They will not do that.
No.
The Pinky era just not there.
Too gimmicky.
I was thinking earlier today how this feud would be different if Paul Bearer was alive, and if he would have any involvement in it at all.
And
I
he
think he
would.
would. It would be because you need someone to counteract the manager and Paul Heyman. So
Yeah.
Paul Bearer would be the
Imagine
logical
the
choice.
interaction between Heyman and Paul Bearer. That'd be
Oh my
imagine
god!
it the first time when
That would
Taker
be
faced Punk.
classic. It would be classic.
It'd be hilarious.
And you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. You can agree with me if you want. Most people do on this point. But Paul Heyman is one of the greatest minds wrestling has ever seen. And him being out there,
I think everyone's going to debate that, man. But anyway,
him being out there is going to add something else to this match that a lot of people are not foreseeing.
Exactly right. And I think he's been the MVP in all of Brock Lesnar's feud because it's just a simple philosophy. It's like, you keep the prize fighter away from fighting and you let the manager just sell you on the fight. And
that dude has the cushest job ever, Brock Lesnar does. He comes out there, just stands next to Paul Heyman, lets him talk for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And then
Cuts a promo if he ever feels like cutting a promo.
The moment I knew they needed to keep the microphone away from Brock Lesnar was the one promo he did shortly after he came back.
John Laurinaitis.
And he said, Paul, say something stupid. And he handed the microphone to Paul Heyman. And I was like, yeah, just keep the microphone away from this guy.
I'm the beast and the best. I'll never forget that.
Oh, yeah.
It was great. But I think, again, I think Paul Heyman's has been the MVP of this feud again. I think his last two promos hyping up this fight have just been nothing short of amazing.
I think Paul Heyman...
Can Paul Heyman even cut a back promo?
I'm sure if he wanted to. I think anybody could cut a bad promo if they wanted to. But I think Paul Heyman almost had a heart attack on Monday.
Seeing that
if Paul Heyman cut a bad promo, it would be the best bad promo ever.
That's
He was
it.
so
I was going to say,
invested in
someone's
his character,
worst
invested
promo
in
could still be
making
better than
Brock
half of people's
bigger
best
than
promo.
literally almost godlike. So when you really see him build Brock when he's not there, really how do you chop down? Literally, it's almost like the devil versus God, really, and that's been
Who's
been
God and
Heyman's
who's
MO
God and who's the
whole
devil in
time
this
through.
situation?
And
Lesnar versus
he didn't
Taker.
really need that with Punk because CM Punk was so articulate and eloquent on the mic, whereas Brock doesn't necessarily have to do that. He's kind of direct and to the point, tall, brooding, but then Heyman really is money. He's like the Don King of wrestling. He could sell ice to an Eskimo. Really. Pull out every analogy that you can when it comes to Paul Heyman, and you're set. You're sold on him. They tried to align him with different guys that they thought didn't have enough personality as kind of like an in-between between feuds for Brock, but it always came back to being what could he do to make Brock bigger than he was. His
Do you think if Brock Lesnar wasn't even in the picture, that Paul Heyman being with Cesaro would have made a difference?
The only reason Paul Heyman was with Cesaro...
I think Cesaro at the stage that he was at his career, the problem with very quickly, the problem with Cesaro signing with Heyman is that he just came off a massive babyface moment at WrestleMania 30 by winning that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. He had the fans in his pocket, they were cheering his ass off, and then all of a sudden we're going to reassociate him back with Paul Heyman. Sure, that got a babyface pop in the building after in New Orleans, but going forward, Paul Heyman to everywhere else over the country is a heel. Yeah. And just to reassert him back as a heel, it was just, fans were like, we want to cheer for him now. Well, it just didn't, the dynamic didn't work, and it was bad from the start, it looked like.
All right, guys.
Cesaro as a babyface doesn't really need to talk, which is one of the secrets.
Exactly.
He talks enough. But he's never been a
wrestles.
great talker, so...
All right, guys. So I'll give you guys about a minute or so each. What are we looking forward to the most tonight at SummerSlam? Just going to go in order that I got the windows here on Skype. Going to go Joel, then Aaron, and then we'll go from there.
So what are we looking for? Well, what am I looking forward to most?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to Cesaro and Owens.
Oh, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
Aaron, what are you looking forward to the most tonight?
I'm looking forward to Cena and Rollins probably the most because I think they, as much as I think Owens and Cesaro will have a great match, I really do think Cena and Rollins will have the best match of the night. I think they're going to get the most time out of everyone. I think they're going to get enough time to tell their story, and I think the involvement at the end is going in a lot of people's minds afterwards is going to say, "Oh, that match is just terrible," because it's going to end indecisively. But I think the match itself, as far as bell to bell, that's going to be the best match of the night. I'm interested to see if Triple H gets involved, if Sheamus gets involved. I think there's so many different things you can do with this match, which is why I'm definitely looking forward to this one the most.
Mark, what are you looking forward to the most?
Well, I agree with the sentiment about the Cena Rollins. Really, there's like the possibilities really are endless when you look at what could come about of it. Cena's had arguably maybe 4 of the 5 probably matches of the year to this point. Why wouldn't we expect that in the main event with we know who is an incredible worker in Seth Rollins? Not just that story inside the ring, but then again the possibilities that come about from it. I kind of surprisingly, I'm curious about what the Neville, Amell, King Barrett, and Stardust match will pull about, just to see what Stephen Amell is actually going to do. Is he just going to be that celebrity that sits in the corner, or is he going to surprise us and pull something out of the hat?
Definitely think he's athletic enough. Sorry. Let's see. Joe Israel, you are up next, sir.
Sure. So, as ever, it's, going to echo everyone that Owens Cesaro will probably, steal the show in terms of match quality. I think one of the things I'm most excited about, and WWE's done a good job with this pretty much all year, is we have, I think, 4 big matches on this show where almost anything could happen. With the 2 main events, Owens Cesaro, I think, is very difficult to predict, and then the tag match with Reigns and Ambrose, Wyatt, and Luke Harper. I think those are 4 matches where I don't know for sure what the outcome's going to be, which, the fact of the matter is, usually, you can at least have some idea where matches are going. But here we've got 4 matches that are very difficult to predict, and that's always the most...
Which is great. Absolutely great. And I just very, very quickly, because I just dropped out of conversation, I don't know what happened with my phone, but I just want to say, good luck to the WWE guys following NXT last night. So it's going to be a tough order to do, even with Brock and Taker being the main event and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, and second to last, Triple M, what are you looking forward to the most tonight?
I got to agree with a lot of you guys on what you brought up with the matches, but there's 2 matches that I'm really looking forward to. And that's Kevin Owens and Cesaro, because I think these 2 guys are just going to bring it. It's going to be like nothing the WWE main audience is used to, especially people that haven't really been exposed to NXT. The other one I'm really looking forward to is Rusev and Ziggler. Like I said, Ziggler, he's great. He usually go out with the broomstick and have a great match. Rusev, from his training at Knoxville Academy and, everything he's done in NXT up to this point, I think there's still a lot of potential in Rusev, and we're going to see some of that tonight. Him and Ziggler is going to be the competing match to go against Owens and Cesaro for stealing the show.
You can almost add that as a 5th match where, it's not a certain ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Mike?
Honestly, the match that's piquing my interest the most is definitely Cena and Rollins, just to see how the ending goes. But the match I'm truly looking forward to is actually the Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus Bray and Harper, just to see how physical they're going to get in that match. Because after seeing the Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin match last night, that was physical. I want to see if they're going to be that match, if they're going to just go pretty much hard-hitting, pulling no punches, drag-out fistfights, essentially.
Well, I can speak to that because on Friday night when I went to WWE Bridgeport, the live event, they had that match. There was a bunch of SummerSlam matches. There was Ziggler and Rusev. They gave us that match as well, Ambrose and Reigns versus Harper and Wyatt. That match was as physical as it gets, and I have a feeling that the ending sequence you guys will really like because it's a lot of everyone doing their finishers to each other, and it's just a mix of everything. I'm assuming they're going to follow that same model tonight. But I'm definitely looking forward to that match as well.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Obviously the world title match. What happens with that? I mean, that could go in 100 different directions. Brock and Taker. I mean, this really is the first step towards WrestleMania, especially for the Undertaker. And to Mike's point, the Ambrose Reigns Wyatt Harper match. Do we see an Ambrose heel turn? Do we see a Reigns heel turn? And will another story that I don't think we touched on that much is Reigns going to finally get his hands on Bray Wyatt? Something that Bray Wyatt's kind of been avoiding him since he started the feud at before Battleground. So will he finally get another chance to get his hands on Bray Wyatt and extract his revenge, so to speak? But definitely going to be an awesome show. And
John, can I jump in with one question because it's a name that hasn't come up yet?
What's
real
up?
Fast. Does anyone think Sting shows up at Raw tomorrow?
Yes.
I'm going to say no.
Yes.
Yes.
I say yes.
I say Sting or
I
Rock.
say he shows up somehow tonight.
That is possible.
That could be part of the Kabuki finish with Cena and Rollins.
Well, he's already in town. Apparently, part of the signings.
I heard he.
So I think doing that makes sense, but at the same time, if they're doing it and they're really trying to keep it on the down low and not announce anything, that's great on their part because it's really hard to try and keep a really tight-lipped secret, especially about someone like Sting. When he showed up at Survivor Series last year, the roof went.
I wouldn't be.
Everybody kind of. They were compelled by having his appearance because you never thought you'd ever see it. So to have him see it, does he come and does he show up? No, we'll see.
Two things before we go, John, really quick. I wanted to just ask the Undertaker-Brock match. I want to get everyone's thoughts on how they think that match is going to be put together. Because the way I'm looking at it now is Brock's matches, the last 5 or 6 of them, have been him taking his opponent, throwing them literally across the ring 100 different ways, and suplexes and all that stuff. Taker cannot take that punishment. I'm telling you right now, Taker cannot take that punishment.
It's going to be a UFC fight, if you ask me. It's just going to be straight up, they're just going to brawl. There's going to be
I don't think so. I think a lot of it is going to be Taker on the offensive for a lot of the match. Maybe
I think it's going to be
almost more than half of it. And then Brock getting his little kind of almost even a babyface comeback, if you would say. And then that makes it even crazier to even think. But I want to get everyone's thoughts on how they think that match is going to be booked.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be more of an Undertaker-style match, circa like 2008 when he was with his program with Edge, that he spends most of the match working down Brock, and like you said, to your point, Brock has almost a babyface comeback. And
yeah, that's what it is.
I think that's got to be the best way to do it because, like you guys said, I mean, if he goes suplex crazy on him, he's going to kill him. I mean, there's no other way to dance around that.
Taker's back to Concussion City.
And Brock is just so damn strong, he doesn't know what to do with half of his strength.
Let's get a number from everybody. How many suplexes do we see Brock give Taker?
I say 1.
I'm gonna say 23.
I'm gonna say 4.
I'm going to go 21 plus 1, so a total of 22.
I'm gonna say 23.
I think Brock Lesnar and Taker are UFC based. They love the UFC. I know Taker's a big UFC fan. I think we're going to see a lot of mat wrestling. Yeah. And I don't know if the match is going to be that good because of it.
I don't expect anything from this match.
They could do something where Undertaker keeps reversing all the suplexes somehow, keeps punching out of them, and then he finally hits one late in the match, so then they don't have to do that many. I think there are ways to get out of needing to have a million suplexes, which could injure Undertaker.
You give Taker an F5, he's probably going to get concussed again, and that's what scares me the most, because...
Yeah. Exactly. You got to be careful.
Taker will literally become the dead man. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
We're moving in a direction, like you guys were suggesting, where it is going to be Brock that has to sell most of the offense because he wants to protect Taker and make sure that he looks bigger than he is too. You could even maybe have a role reversal. Maybe it's Undertaker suplexing the hell out of Brock.
That would be interesting. I'm not going to lie.
That. Taking the offense to him would be definitely booking that nobody would have expected.
Yep.
I could see that.
But I can definitely see also Brock playing a little bit of a cat and mouse game where Taker gets out of the gate and really wants to go, and Brock kind of playing a little cat and mouse and trying to make. I think
Very much like Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 21. The whole match was based on Shawn Michaels doing a whole high-flying set, and they actually out-wrestled Kurt Angle, if anyone remembers that one.
And I think this match is going to be a lot of, I hate to say like wasting time, but I think they're going to have to fill time. I think you can't give the Brooklyn crowd a 15-minute main event. I think they're going to have to pull it to 20 at least to kind of give them, like they've gotten their money's worth. And I think that a lot of that's going to be a lot of kind of wasting time and then trying to, a lot of spot and then laying on the floor for like 30 seconds, another spot laying on the floor.
Add whatever length of time of match you want, add 7 minutes for Undertaker's entrance.
Yeah, actually, I think there are enough other long matches on the card where they can keep this, 15.
Yeah.
I don't think longer than that.
No, they're going to give this match a lot of time.
In my opinion, this is a 25, 30-minute long match.
Doesn't need to be.
When I count, I mean 15 from bell ringing
to bell
ringing.
That's what I thought you meant. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of stuff on either side.
Does Taker fly over the top rope?
No.
No.
There's no way you can
Not if he wants to get back up.
You better not.
I think we'll see Taker go for it.
That
Paul will
if
jump
Brock
up
can
onto the
actually
apron.
catch him into like an F5.
That'd be all right.
Yeah,
That'd be sick. That'd be pretty sick. But guys, it's going to be, at least for half the card, it's going to be a very unpredictable night, which is something for WWE we haven't seen in quite a long time.
We had that at WrestleMania, which is why WrestleMania was so good.
Yeah, but how long has it been since WrestleMania?
Yeah, and I mean even that two events in the same year is being unpredictable is unheard of for WWE. Yeah. Let alone probably two of the few events in recent memory that have been really unpredictable. But Joel, if you were late to the show, and I'm gonna hype it again here. We got Bruce Hart coming to the show on September 2nd at 9 o'clock Eastern. He's gonna be doing a tell-all shoot interview, and like I said at the top of the show, those are magical words when it comes to a wrestling podcast. So,
John, I just wanted to, really quick before we go anywhere, I just wanted to throw a quick plug. Anyone who's interested in listening to a post-show after SummerSlam wants to talk.
Absolutely.
I'll be hosting a post-show on Pro Wrestling Powerhouse, our network, blogtalkradio.com/Pro Wrestling Powerhouse. I invite everyone talking here to come on and chat up SummerSlam.
I may take you up on that. But
try to stop by.
Absolutely. And guys, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. It was an awesome show. We went probably at least an hour longer than I thought we would.
We've been going for 2 hours.
It's an awesome show. Joel,
I'm just getting
we
started.
got your money's worth. We got your money's worth from you. So
that's it. Awesome. And I just want to do a very, very quick plug for Wrestling's Rope Break. We do a monthly show now. It's www.facebook.com/Wrestling's Rope Break.
Absolutely.
We're on the Steel Cage Network right now as well. A good bunch of guys. Josh and Derek run the network over there. They're currently in New York City as we speak. They went to the Ring of Honor show. They met Nakamura, Okada. They met a whole bunch of people. Really good guys. The Steel Cage Network, find them on iTunes, and this way you can find Wrestling's Rope Break as well. But Facebook.com/Wrestling's Rope Break.
There you go. Guys, we'll talk soon. Joel and Aaron, especially. It's been too long since we've done this. Hopefully we can do something again in the near future.
Absolutely.
Joe, it was fun, man. Same thing with that. It's been too damn long since we've had you on the show. At Triple M and Mark, I'm looking forward to working with you guys in the future. Welcome, especially Mark. Al filled me in a little bit. At first, I thought you were just a call. Didn't realize you were you're coming on board with us, man. So looking forward to working with you also in the future, and want to say welcome to Main Event Madness, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys, too. Should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And I got Bruce Hart's opinion on what he's looking forward to at SummerSlam. If you guys want to stick around with that, you guys can listen to that. And then also, like you guys said, head over to WWE Network. We got SummerSlam coming up. I didn't even truly realize what time it was.
Started here on the West Coast.
The pre-show started.
Pre-show started, and Owens got on the panel and literally verbally dressed down all of them. So it was pretty funny.
Oh,
that's good stuff. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it. Aside from hearing from Bruce, so enjoy SummerSlam. Like Aaron said, blogtalkradio.com/Pro Wrestling Powerhouse. Check out their SummerSlam, I guess you could say, post-game show. after the show. It's going to be an awesome event. Guys, once again, thank you. Have a great night, and we will be back Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. That's, if you guys haven't been listening to the show lately, that's our new night, 8 o'clock Eastern, Wednesdays. And Bruce Hart will be on Main Event Madness September 2nd, 9 o'clock Eastern. He'll be on, so that's going to be an awesome night. And, yeah, take it easy, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Well, let's just ask you really quick, Bruce. What are you looking forward to the most tonight at SummerSlam?
I hope if nothing else, I might be wishful thinking, but I'd love to see them, kind of consolidate or whatever with that world title, 2 belts or whatever with Cena and Seth, the U.S. and all like that, I'm not sure. I have no idea what their intent is, but I think it would be a step in the right direction if they kind of got, down to one title. I don't see any great point in having Cena wearing a belt and Seth wearing a belt, and then maybe further confusion where you got Kevin Owens coming in with an irrelevant NXT belt, even though it's, all that other, I think more is not better, maybe cut down to one focal point and will probably be to their advantage. And as far as that match goes, WWE the last little while has been, the last decade or more has been going overboard on swerve finishes and run-ins and ref bumps and all the bullshit. And I think it would be a nice, refreshing change, and it would probably be good for business, as Hunter likes to say, if they actually had a finish in the middle, straight finish without 20 guys hitting the ring and run-ins and all the other illicit ulterior bullshit. So it'd be nice to see a finish in the middle, although that might be asking a little too much. It'd be nice to see, in the old days you used to see finishes, at least, Hogan and Andre, stuff like that. You, for the most part, see a straight finish. So I don't know, that would be one of my hopes, and see what happens.
The preceding broadcast was a Main Event Madness network production. If you missed a part of all of tonight's show, head over to Spreaker.com/show/Main Event Madness for a complete archive, or tune in Friday nights on BlogTalkRadio.com/VOC Nation at 6 p.m. Eastern for an encore presentation. Main Event Madness Radio, your wrestling, our podcast, simply madness. And on that note, have a good one, everybody. So long.